Hello, traders. John at StockBookie.com. Today, we're looking at everything. Come to the live broadcast. Check us out. I post a stream on StockTwits. I'm trying to figure out how to do it on YouTube so my followers can join us as well. But I'm going to try to schedule something about a half hour early, and then we'll go from there. Let's check this out. So I think I'm live on there. All right, so let's take a look at some stuff. Let's get right to the SPY and see what's going on here. We have 50 million on the day. Where's the SPY here? How does the volume sound today, guys? I think it was a little bit loud yesterday. Is today a little bit more subdued? I'm trying to figure this stuff out. This is my 6th broadcast, I believe. Let me know. Punch in the chat. Let me know how the voice sounds. Is it way too loud? I mean, I'll try to figure it out. But I was trying to do it earlier today, and I just couldn't figure it out. So, all right, let's see here. So let's get into the 10-minute. Now I'm just going to open this one up. Sounds good. Okay, here. How about a delay? They said it had a delay last time, which was kind of weird. A couple guys had a delay. Is everything in real time? Good to go. All right. All right, let's get into the 10-minute SPY. Let's do a little bit of intraday stuff. So we know we had the gap fill right here. And we have this lower pivot here at 214.05. Looks like it's consolidating, possibly setting up for some lower prices. We are in the 1 o'clock lunchtime hour. Real time, good. Nope. Hey, Jehu, what's up, buddy? In the room. All right, let's see here. So we're consolidating sideways, bearish consolidation on the intraday 10-minute chart, okay? So if it doesn't get above this breakdown bar right here, then I think we're going to get some lower prices towards the end of the day. See how the volume's drying up here? So that tells me everyone's at lunch, kind of taking it easy. They had a little buy program right at noon. You know, these guys don't stop with these buy programs. If there weren't sellers in the market today, we would have went straight up right into here. Wait a minute, let's go back. Kind of like yesterday. What time was this at? Everybody, well, this one was at 11:10 buy program. So they tried it at noon, see how they just rejected it. A couple of sellers came in and said, no, I don't think so, not today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consolidation bars, 214.50. Yeah, here, let me tell you. We're at 214.40, 41, 40, 41. Any delay, guys? 214.41. All right, maybe that was someone just had a little bit slower. Am I screaming today? Because I listened to the broadcast yesterday just to see how the volume was. Is the volume a little better today? Is it subdued? And then the other thing, does anybody know how to send an alert through YouTube to my subscribers? Like I said, I'm a trader. I'm not a YouTube guy. But I want to get more people in here. The more the eyes on the market, the more trades we could get, the more money we can make. That's just the way it works. So 10-minute charts consolidating here. You know, if we move this, let's see, if we move this over. I'm here, Bookie. Hey, what's up, Frank? Good, everything's good. 45 now, yep, 49. 48, 49. Yeah, it's fine. It looks like everyone's good today. So let's check this out. So we have a low pivot here, and then ultimately I think we have something down the road on this side. I mean, I have a trend line there. Let's go back. Well, we don't have anything there. Let's take this one off. Let's put a trend line down in here. There was another gap fill or something down in this area. Here, hold on a second here. I always go back to Lulu. Let's punch in the SPY. There was another. All right, there's some good pivots right there. Then you had the pivots down in here, pivot here. Is there any other gap down in here somewhere? Gosh, you're going to have good support down in here too. So let's go ahead and draw those lines in here. We're going to have some pivot support as well in this area. And you got a low pivot down in here. So let's see if this consolidation sets us up for lower prices. I think if people subscribe, they receive an alert. Okay, but not sure. I got the alert. Okay, so some people did get the alert. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd like to have emails where I could send something out, or possibly phone numbers even, where I could just send a text to everybody. But, you know, I'm learning this stuff. Let's take this one day at a time. Let's try to make some money here. All right, let's look at the 60-minute. Yes, got the alert. Okay, so some people did get alerts. Okay, cool. So it looks like everyone did. Maybe, you know, a lot of people, they're at work. They're not trading like we are. So all right, the bigger time frame, you know, we're just I mean, look at this action, guys. Goes up, distribution, goes up, distribution, goes up, distribution, goes up. Look, they gap it up, distribution again. Like I said, if you have 10 million shares of this SPY and you're a big institution, you want to sell down here, or do you want to sell up here on the gap? Jobs number, you know, it doesn't even mean anything anymore, guys. We're just buying time. Oh, you just got the alert, Jason? All right. Yeah, that's, oh, maybe because it went live at 10. So maybe that's why it popped. Yeah, you know, like I said, I'm still trying to learn this stuff. So here we are, guys, just chopping around. We're at this low end of support range. We have a pivot here right around the 214 area, and then we have another pivot, 213.61, and so on and so forth. Let's see if we get down there today. I do like this bearish consolidation right here. That's pretty good, but you know, let's see if we could pop up, because right now, look at the volume disappearing again. It just drives me crazy. But look, we got some pretty good selling volume right here. And then boom, and you know what? Actually, no, we did hit that. I think it was the 6.5 or 750 retrace. Gosh, I don't have it on this. Hold on a second. I got it on another chart, guys. 60. Where is it? Okay, yeah, I mean, it did come down. Let's pull this one out here. Let's put a new fib in there. Let's take the fib from this pivot point. Let's go to the high of today. We did have a little bit of support right down in here at the 214.57. It blasted through. Well, it looks like they're getting another. See how the volume kicks in light and they're trying to push it out. See how there's no volume now? There's no sellers. It is lunchtime on Wall Street again. And yeah, now turn off the correct NPC. Exactly. They're going to tell everybody, get in oil on the pullback, buy the dip. It's the USO's dipping. Hurry up. Hurry up. Goldman Sachs has a huge position they have to unload, so keep buying so they can unload their position into the buying. It's pretty funny. Well, it looks like they're trying to get, Apple's trying to move up a little bit. You got the ExxonMobil moving up. You got BABA coming up. So you look like you're catching a little bit on the light volume here overall, but the indexes are holding strong. I mean, look at this one here, guys. IWM, I watched this one real close too. Look at that. Look at that nice inside bar bearish pattern. See if this one plays out. Let's look on. Is there anything down in here? Let's go to the 60-minute. ARWR about to fill the gap. All right, hold on a second. All right, hold on. What is it? ARWR. Where's the volume? 500,000 shares. So yeah, you don't want to take this long. You want this thing to go right into gap and then pop up. Let's see, where's the gap at? Where, let's see, let's go to the opinion on, hold on. Yeah, there's no gap coming. I mean, there's a gap window right here, right there, and then you got the gap fill down in here. So you got it at right about, where's the price on that one? Sit, gosh, move over. What are you doing up there? 660 or so. I mean, you have a pivot down here, which it's trying to hold. You got the pivot down there too. So it's trying to hold this area here. I mean, if it holds that area, it could bounce, but then eventually it's going to have to bounce if the markets go up. That's your play there. If markets continue down, everything's going down. You know, I tell you guys, everything's a market trade right now. If the markets continue down, it's all going down. I don't care what it is. All right, let's go back. What one? ACIA. Oh, let's see here. 5 million on the day. What are you looking to do on this one? Opinion on it. You looking to go long, looking to go short? Are you in this one? Swing trade. Turn the NBC crap off. I like that. I don't even have a TV in here, guys. I'll look at CNBC here and there just to see what's going on. Well, the ACIA, you're running into the 50 MA here. Technically, you had a bounce. Everybody probably bought up here, thinking it was going up. Then they slammed it right back in your face. It filled the gap today down in here. Now it's holding. Now you're going to have to wait for pattern on this one. Is this thing a new issue too? A couple months? Yeah, there's not a lot of data here either for a technical trader. But actually, you know what? Here, check this out. Look at this. Oh, geez. All right. I'm still learning the system. All right. I think we got a little head and shoulder top here. Maybe. I got to see where the trend line is. The right shoulder's a little bit off. We gap down to here. All right, hold on, guys. You want an upsloping trend line in these? Nah. Well, in the gate, well, you know, on this one, it negated the head and shoulder once it popped up above the neckline, but we got above in 2 days. It came right back in. I don't know if it's going to play out. I would wait for consolidation here and then maybe the next leg down. If it can't come back up and above this line and above the 20 MA, then it's probably going to go down. It's still a new issue. If this thing does start to fall, you measure this point to this point. I don't know how to, let's see if I can do this. Still, like I said, then you measure it. This is how you measure the head and shoulder pattern. Look at this. It gets more interesting, guys. Look at where, well, that's not gap fill, but that's where the window is. Gap fill is actually right here. But look where it ends up, almost in gap window, and then this one here. So that would be your point if this thing plays out. But at this point, you know, when we got above the neckline again, that for me, that negates the pattern. Good short on HD. How about that? Was awesome, wasn't it? I went short shares and I did a small position on a put and covered them both today. That was epic. But you know, it's going like anything, man. It's going up on news. So yeah, so on this one, I would wait maybe for the retrace and maybe short it. If you're short, hold on, wait for pattern, let it fall. Let's look at the weekly just to see what's on this one here. Yeah, weekly. Yeah, it's not telling. I mean, you're up and sideways, kind of a bullish pattern up here, but it's still a new issue, so it's hard to say. If you're long on this one, it comes down in here, fills this gap on here, right around the 95.60. You know, this is another high flyer, man. These are stocks that will just all of a sudden they're just going to fall for no reason, come back in. You know what? Let's stick a. I think we looked at this one yesterday or the other day too. Let's put another fib in there, see where it came down to. Oops. Let's see. What's going on? Hold on here. I got to put the 10-minute back on the SPY. What's going on? Are they popping now? Oh, now we got an inside bar bullish pattern. so yeah, you got the 5-0 retrace, you got gap fill. You know, ultimately, if this thing comes in, I think we can hit 88.42 or possibly come back to this area here. Yeah, look at that. That's even more interesting. So you got the head and shoulder pattern. It did negate it, but on the weekly pattern, you still have it intact if it closes down here today. If this pattern plays out, you're going to 75.25 or the 20 MA on that one. So that's that one. Long. So you're long this one? Yeah, be careful with it. That little head fake there. Don't tell me you bought it 2 days ago right up in here. Tell me you didn't do that. Come on, watch my videos. You know better than that. Did you do it? Did you buy up here on the hype? Anyways, you know, you don't have to respond. Yeah, that sucks. I've been that guy before. Oh my gosh, it goes up. No, good. Well, if you're in a profit, man, just get the hell out. Because if this thing sets up sideways and it doesn't get above there, if it gets below this 50 MA, I think we're heading down. SPY sells, it's going to be over. Let's put it that way. All right, let's go back into the SPY. Let's see what's going on here. Anybody else have any other symbols you want me to look at? Yeah, but that the HT trade was awesome. We did it. We did a Chipotle trade too today. Here, check this one out. Already covered half. I mean, you just can't, man. It's all in technicals, guys. So let's see here. I think this wasn't the. Let me delete that. I think it was on another chart. So I think it was a set. Yeah, 750. All right. So you take the fib from there. Okay. So now you have these high pivots right here. You have the even number. That's another one. You got, you know, you have the even number, high pivot, 750 retrace, and now it's getting stretched going up. You got to take that trade for a scalp. Come on. I mean, look at this. We took it right up in here, right around the 429 area. Boom, boom, boom. Came into the moving averages. We covered half. Now it's set up in a bearish pattern. The SPY sells. We'll probably dump it today right here at gap fill. Not a huge position here, guys, but you know what? A couple hundred shares short of this. You get $5-6, it's $1,500. I'll take that every day. And then look at HD too. Hold on, I'll go to the gold trade. I know everyone's asking. We talked about that the other day. Remember that. If it gets below the 20 or the 200 MA, if it pops up. But look at this one. I mean, if you weren't shorting this one up in here, and I think we went a little early on this one. Yeah, look at this high pivot right here. You got the high pivot, okay? You got the even number coming up, and then you got the extended chart here, you know, going up on news again. Oh, Home Depot, the hurricane, hurry up and buy this. You know, as everything's going up, you know what the smart money's doing on this one, who bought down in here in the morning? They're all dumping. They're all like, yeah, look at this. This is great. What oh my gosh. Then all the shorts started covering here and then started squeezing. And the weak hands started buying. And by the time it got up here, all the longs that went long down here while they were squeezing, they all started unloading. And today, boom, they took it all. That was a great. You can't ask for a better trade than that. I'm already out, done, and that's how I like to trade, guys, in and out. And the more time you're in the markets, the more chance they have to take your money. It's as simple as that. The institutions, the hedge funds, all the big players. But the GLD, yeah, how about that one? That was classic. Love it. Got right to the area, came in, bounced today. So if you did take that one long, it would have been a day trade. Looks like it's coming right back in now. So my thing on this one here, let's see if we can close below the 200. We talked about this gap fill here. Well, actually, wow, it filled the gap today. So that's the reason we bounced up. Look at that, filled the gap. Where's the dollar? Is the dollar moving up right now? The dollar's moving up. This is going down. Where's my dollar? Yeah, dollar's slowly moving up here. So that's why gold's coming back. And you had the news today with the Yellen stuff and all that crap. So 210%. Yep, baby. How was that? Hey, I'm gonna put a tip jar on what is it, PayPal, and you can tip me when you guys make money. So let's see here. And then you got gap fill down in here. We talked about the 115 area. I want to wait patiently for it. You know, yesterday when I saw this thing close below, I was thinking if we get above this 200 moving average here on the close, let's see if we can close above it and then maybe hop on. But right now we're just going to hold tight and see if we can get some lower prices here, because I still like a little bit. You filled the gap today here. So that's a big one. So, but I'd still like this area. And the reason why, if you go to the weekly, you got that moving average right here, right around 117. So I'd like it. And then you got these pivots down in here. Man, one good flush, because you got to think this was a pretty good bullish pattern. You got a lot of people buying up here because, you know, it's the gold trade, They do one big shakeout, get everybody to sell who bought up here just to screw them. Then they'll hit support here. This is where, all the technical buyers will be buying right in here. And then we'll be riding up, and then the chasers will chase it. They'll drive it up a little higher, and then we'll sell right back in here, maybe sell half, put a break even in, and try to get the rest to roll. But, you know, I mean, this is one that, you know, like on this one here, when it pulled back, we were waiting for the gap fill down in here. You know, I was telling everybody, let it fall a little bit more. So I think this could be the area, but again, we'll have to see. SPY's catching a little bid. We have 52 million on the day, not a lot. Let's see here. Yeah, XLP or G or TGT. TGT. Is that Target? Target. Yeah, you're into support down in here, so we'll have to see. I mean, this is that's the weekly. So let's go to the daily. Let's go to shorter time frame. Yeah, we got above the 20 MA chopping around, but you know, this downward pattern below the MAs, 50 MA, 200 MA starting to come in. Technically, it's weak. We did pop above it. Maybe they had some news, or well, some options are expiring, so maybe they popped it up on that. I mean, look at this run up. So you can't tell me there's some options expiring up here worthless, and you know someone had to drive price up just to screw some people. That's how it works, guys. You know, so if you're in the money or something, you just take your money, because the next day you never know. Look at Tesla. We shorted. Gosh, I'm still pissed at that one. We shorted that one at 215. We took a couple bucks, but man, look at where is it? 197.57. Jeez. Yeah, everyone remember when that one went up. We'll go to Tesla in a minute. Weekly. Let's see here. Yeah, weekly. I mean, look at this. I mean, we're right back into the support here down in here. So if it keeps going sideways, market's dump, this one's going to be in trouble. I don't know when earnings are. Let's stick a fib in there, though. Let's go down there. Yeah, we're trying to hold on to the 618. I think if anything, it's going down to 65.49. And then you got this pivot here. See where it came up, retrace, came back in and blasted through. You're going to have more support down in here too. There. So at this point, it's just ugly. I mean, even on this time frame too. Come on, pop up. This thing's driving me nuts today. Dollar General, oh God. Yeah, that thing got just a whooping. That's another high flyer. We talk about high flyers too in this room. So yeah, so that one, let's go to the, let's see, monthly on this one. Yeah, monthly too. I mean, you have some support in here. It's getting below the 50 MA. So just, if you're long this one, be careful. You know, it's starting to set up to go lower. And like I said, if the markets go lower, this one's going lower too. Let's see one other thing though on the bigger time frame. Let's try this one. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have some support down in here too with this trend line. So yeah, if anything, that's not this. You know, if you wanted to go long, maybe down in here. But again, if this one starts to break, it's going to be over. Markets start to sell too. I think we could come down here to 52 bucks. Or this pivot down in here at 54. Dollar General, or what's the other one? XLP. What is that one? I don't have the names on these. XLP. What is that? Is that a retailer or something? Or the retail ETF? I don't have any names on this stuff. I mean, I have my watch list and everything, but I don't have names on these. So, but honestly, it really doesn't matter. If you're looking at the XLP, if you're long, be careful. Well, this is the monthly, so let's look at the daily. Yeah, see, look at this, down, sideways, you're below the moving averages, you're starting to set up in a bearish pattern. You got the 20 MA curling in the price, consumer staples. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, sir. And well, you're coming into some pivots down in here. Got this pivot, you got that pivot. All right, so you got those two pivots. All right, let's do some investigating here. Got a gap fill here too, though. Stocks love to revisit gaps, guys. Let me tell you. All right, so we're going to stick those gaps in there. Let's go. Well, let's see. Hold on. Weekly. Let's see if we can find anything else. All right, so we're into. So this is the bigger time frame. This is the weekly. So we know there, though those trend lines are, there's some support on the daily. So we got these pivots down here. We had a gap fill down in here. We're trying to hold on to the 50 MA. We had a little bit of a bearish consolidation. I would have liked to seen some more before it goes down. So you could get a possible short-term bounce here, but as long as if this thing closes below this red bar here, what you're going to look for then, if you want to take this one short, if you're long, start protecting it. But if you want to take this one short, unless the markets break down, you want to let it pop up, get above the 50 MA, let it retrace maybe into the 618, 750, and short it up in here and use this high as a stop out. If it gets above the 55 area, then you just get the hell out. Reshort it up here at the double top and use that as a stop out then. But if you're short already, ride this thing out. Let's see if we close here on a weekly basis. Then we're looking for a close below this low next week, but we have support down in here. So are you long or short this one? Or are you thinking about getting in? Let me know. Because right now it's looking a little ugly. Weekly, or let's look at the monthly. Yeah, monthly, you have this big inside bar too. On the monthly, if you close below this green candle here, I think we're probably going to go to, yeah, that 50.92. That's a good area. Because to the long, yeah, start protecting it. The market's dumped. This is going. And then you have this, you know, you got some ugly downside. You had the inside. This is almost like the SPY. See how it's like the SPY pattern, chopping. But this one's already starting to break down. You have a big area right in here too. You know, support, it cracked it. And if it closes, what is this, the daily? Yeah, if it closes down here today, it's confirmed under all the moving averages and it confirmed underneath this breakdown bar. You do have some support coming in here. I don't know where you went long from, looking to buy more. Stay away from that, Jack. If the market's dumped, this thing's going. If you're looking to buy more, let it fall, man. Let it go. Let it go at least a gap fill around the 50.92. You know, but this is a big area. We'll look at this one next week. If it closes below the 50 on a weekly close, then you got to look for another close to confirm. If it gets above the top, if it retraces back up here, if you're in the money, dump it. Because eventually you're going to retrace maybe up. I would love to see the 55 area. I'll be shorting this one because it's got to get above this big red bar. If it closes below that today, that's not looking good as well. So just be careful with it. I'm short calls on it. Okay, that'll work. That'll work too, brother. So, all right. Let's see here. Do you ever? No, too fast for me, man. I'm 46 years old. I'm getting slow in my age. I follow the 10-minute, the 60-minute, the daily, weekly, monthly. I use the 50, the 20, and the 200 MA, and that's it. Getting too old for this stuff, man. The scalping stuff wears me out. Been doing videos now and everything else. Crazy stuff. Any other symbols, guys? Anything you want to look at? Let's go to the SPY. Got SPY setting up here. Let's see, 10 minutes. I would only sell if I had a pair with losers. Yeah, no, I hear you. So yeah, SPY still do it, but now you have an inside bar bullish pattern here. So you got a macro bull or bear, micro bull. So let's see if we can pop above this 214.69 area. Gosh, my volume keeps disappearing in here. I don't get what's. I don't get this, guys. Hold on. Let me come back here. Yeah, it keeps disappearing on me, which I'm not getting that. I'm gonna have to make a phone call. Maybe there's got to be a glitch or something. Watch, and then it pops up. And then I have two bars. Awesome. Got a bunch of volume in here, guys. So I take that one out, and then it comes back in. That's great. Good thing I pay monthly fee for these charts. DG, huh? Oh, Dollar General. Okay. Gosh, yeah, that one's up. Spy's catching a little bid, guys. Watch, Spy will catch a bid, and watch everything else unless it's a real turd catch a bid. Oh, jeez. Here they go. This wasn't enough consolidation for me, but here they come. Look at the volume, guys. Nothing. Can you see the volume under there? There's no volume. There's not even 1 million shares, not a 500,000 shares traded here. All you got to do is a little buy program, and boom, goes straight up. And you got to think, you got shorts down here too that are covering from the open, because if you went short at the open, you're starting to take some money off the tail. That's a $2 fall. So why wouldn't you want to take some? So you might get some short covering. Does anybody know if China's coming online next week? They had a week off, right? Because China's a wild card too. They've been off a week, so it's been silent out there. So you got Baba running, you had Baidu running, you had all these Chinese stocks running for no reason. Believe me, all those are going to come in as well. DG, Google. All right, let's look at DG. I'm going to keep an eye. Yeah, look at this crap. This drives me crazy. No volume, and here we go. Go, Janet, go. Everybody, we all cheer together. Maybe this thing will push higher. Look at this. This is their goal, to get it back above the MAs again, because a weak technician tells you if it gets above the MAs, it's a strong stock. Well, it's got to confirm. You know, like on the 60-minute here. It gets above this. It gets above this line, the 200 MA. Can't confirm. Look at that. That thing was like a brick wall. And then today they almost had it. Got everyone on board. Man, we almost hit this one too. The gap fill up in here. Didn't make it because you know why? There's a lot of people sitting on here waiting to get filled. Market makers saw that and they stopped it slightly early, because then they get people to kind of chase, and then they, get people to chase it down. But yeah, I was waiting for up here and never made it, unfortunately. Well, 20-minute or the 10 minutes trying to capture the 20 MA. How many minutes left? 2 minutes left on this candle. Let's see what happens. All right, hold on a second. Tanking today. All right, let's go to DG. DG, we talked about this one yesterday. It did, yeah, found some support. Look at that, bouncing. Unbelievable. It was going to bounce sooner or later, guys. Gosh, I don't have lines in here. But we talked about this area yesterday. This little pivot, that little pivot has some support. We were talking about this gap fill down in here. Would have loved to have seen 65.45, but it caught some support from here, and we're getting a bounce. All right, but let's go a little further. I would not chase this one. Market's dumped. This one will retrace up, and then it's going to come right back in. Maybe. I mean, it's an oversold condition, but are you looking to go long or short on this way? It's gotten crushed. Have a limit order in at 66.05. Yeah, it's coming down. Even on the weekly, you have a little bit of a bottoming tail. Damn, so 66, yeah. Yeah, never made it to the level I like, 65.45, almost. But again, you know what? Everyone else was looking at this level too, so the market makers just stopped it short. They're trying to get everyone to chase it up. It's going oversold, so you got a lot of people. You got shorts covering, a lot more short. They would have got a better bang for the buck here, but a lot of longs were going, wanting to go long here. So you got some short covering rally. You got some people chasing it. But let me tell you, if this thing comes up, yeah, I would have liked to see more volume on the week. But that's not a bad bottoming tail. You could get some upper, some higher prices. But if the SPY doesn't move up, this one's going to go right back down, in my opinion. 66.03 was a gap fill. Is that where it was? But yeah, let's look at the monthly. Yeah, monthly too. Monthly has a little bottoming tail too. So you had a lot of support down here. You got to give it that. Let's look if we had anything with a. Come on. Jeez. All right, let's see if I can do this here. Right here. Yeah, and you had the 750 retrace to a 68.99. That's what they're trying to get it above. They're trying to get it above this little pivot here. So if it closes right here, it's not bad. We could possibly retrace up a little bit more. But now I wouldn't chase it. I'd rather have it come up and then reshort it up here. That was a nice fall. It could go up. Like I said, the markets are going to have to move up with it. So if the markets don't move up, this is probably going to go right back down. Everything's a market trade, guys. See how the markets gets a bid right now, and everything's catching a bid. except for the big turds. The big turds aren't going, or even Chipotle. Jeez, they can't help themselves. To get the light volume, they come right in. Push it up. That's their goal in life. Let's look at Google. Google, yeah, we're playing. I'm looking at the monthly topping tail here. Not the best, not the worst. I'd like to see a little more volume, but at least it's a point where you can play. Until we get above that, I still think we're going down. I think they drove it up into earnings. It could be a sell the or buy the rumor, sell the news event. Hard to say with these. Earnings are it's a 50-50 shot. But overall though on the daily, if you look at the daily chart of Google, it's just kind of chopping around. I mean, it is up, it is sideways. You are going in a channel. So I guess if you're playing this one, just you got to see if it's going to pop up above the channel. I would play it like this. If it pops up above the channel on earnings, I'll short it. I am short already in Google, but if it pops up, I'll add more. And if it goes down, you're already short. You're probably going to fill this gap, and you're probably going to go to 200 moving average. You're going to fall at least $50. And if it goes up, I mean, how much more is this thing going to go up? I mean, realistically, unless you do a stock buyback or a stock buyback upgrade like Amazon. How many upgrades have they gotten in the last 2-3 weeks? That tells me someone with a large positions unloading at the top before earnings. So they need some more suckers to go up there and buy on a push up on a I think Morgan Stanley. Yeah, we'll just go with 1,000 this time. Why don't we just tell them that? So as everyone's buying it, you got a big institutional seller dumping. They're not going to stick around during earnings, or at least they're going to take some profits off the table. But Google, yeah, you're down, you're inside bar. It looks like it's going to close below the MA possibly today on a daily chart. So we're gonna know more at the end of the day, especially on a swing trade basis. Right now, it's getting below the 220 and the 50 MA. Got to see where it closes. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly, same thing. You're in this channel, just chopping around. They try to pop it up above it. They did get above the all-time high and close, but it came right back in. So we'll see today when they closes. And on the monthly, well, we need more time on the monthly. So Google, if you're long, going into earnings, maybe shave something off. And if you're short Google, add more if it pops up, and hold tight, because I think the markets are due to have some pretty good selling in the next couple months, maybe in the next months. But with all the news coming out with the elections and all that crap, who knows what's going to happen. Where's the dollar at? Yeah, dollar staying strong. Gold still coming down. Let's see. Yeah, gold's still down 31 cents. Oil's moving up a little bit now. Exxon caught a bit out of the blue. Let's get the leaders going. Let's get the Exxons going, the Apples going, the JPMs going. Let's do a little buy program in the, at the 130 time frame. I mean, it's just pathetic, guys. Let's go back into the SPY. All right, hold on here. Let's look at BAC too. I just want to go back into the SPY. Here we go, guys. Other than shorts covering, and then Grandma gets on board pushing this thing up. I mean, who the hell's doing an overall buy program on the markets? I wouldn't want to put my money and buy these markets and force them up. Who would do that? I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to risk my hard-earned money, buying this thing up. I mean, come on, you got a little bit of volume coming up. Probably some shorts covering down in here, but so much for that pattern. Man, that was a great pattern too. If they close it above it, there they go. They're going for the MAs. Well, they got the computer programs. They program them. Yeah, just keep it above the MAs, all that crap. Jeez. Yeah, because everything changed about 20 minutes ago with the markets. This up and down action, guys, just unhealthy. This is unhealthy. Game playing crap. Comes back up here, you're going to get another distributor coming right back in. Like I said, you distributing 10 million shares down here? No, you want to distribute up here. Why the hell would you sell down here? You just stop selling, let it pop up, then you start selling again. Comes right back in. Let's look at, always wanted to buy wow, what a gap down on that one. Probably another high flyer. Let's go right to the monthly. Yep, another high flyer. Look at that. Gets away from the 220 moving average. Bam, right back in their face. I mean, see how it gets above, comes back in, gets above, comes back in, gets above, comes back in. That's how NVIDIA looked. That's how, all right, let's go. Let's look at it further. Remember the 20 MA there, getting stretched. Dollar General, what happened? Getting stretched, okay? Let's look at Amazon. Getting stretched. Holy crap. Another one. Oh my gosh, but hurry up, get in, buy it at the highs. NVIDIA. Oh my gosh, another stretched piece of crap. Look at O. I look for these all the time, guys. Look at O. Uh-oh. Oh no, for O. Coming right back in. Grandma to the rescue. Exactly. You know, it's just so stupid. Lunchtime hour. Do you think the big boys, they're sitting around? They got the JV squad in there, and then they just sit there, just make sure we don't go down any further. And if we do, alert us. And then the volume disappears, and voila. How can grandma come in and sell when there's, you know, I'm looking at my other chart, but you have 4 million on a sell candle. There's not much she's going to do. But then you come in and you only have 500,000 on a candle. You think she could get that up on a 500,000 candle? Hell yeah. You get 4 or 5 million, 5 million sell candle. It's going right in her face. But look at that. Look at this high flyer. We're short this one too. Look at that. That's epic. And you know where it's going? It's going right here. That was another high flyer. Oh gosh, there was a bunch of other ones. What were some other ones here? But I go through these all the time, you know, and I think Nettie's is becoming one too. Oh, geez, look at Nettie's. You don't think this is coming in, guys? Think again. Be careful with Nettie's. Yeah, it might be going up now, here and there. This one's coming in too when all this crap is falling. Don't trust these. Don't trust the news. They're upgrading this shit up here. Excuse my language, but I get all a little crazy, guys. But yeah, I mean, these are all high flyers. And I always go back to this, and I'll show you this all the time. Skyworks, same crap. I mean, look at that thing. You know how many people are stuck up here in Skyworks? You know, here this was probably earnings. Oh, they have such great earnings. They did 10 buybacks and the EPS goes up, but the revenue sucks. And they're all like, well, the EPS went up. This is great. We're going to upgrade this thing. Like I said, we were short a little over 112. Unfortunately, we covered on the inside bar. And then boom, look at that. And now here it goes, retrace. All right, here, let's look at this one. This one's ready to come back in too. But I'm sure they got news, you know, it's Skyworks. It's the best. It's a leader. Like Baba. Everyone's saying it's a leader. Baba's not a leader. Period. Apple's a leader. Exxon's a leader. JPM's a leader. You know, come on. You know, IBB sort of, you know, in the biotech, you know, it's an ETF, but you know, when that thing goes up, you know, the Qs follow. When that goes down, the Qs bomb. But here you go, 750 retrace. You know, I might even short this one. $80, maybe a little higher, get a pierce up into the 50 MA or the 20 MA here. Look at that one. I mean, come on. All right, keep an eye on that one, $80. All right, $80, $81. That one could be a short. It's a monthly chart, but you know, another one, you know, stretched POS. Let's put it that way. All right, there's a guy on Facebook that charges $200 a month for his trades. Oh, I don't know, maybe. If anything, guy, I might do something where I give out trades. You know, this is like a test run where we do some live stuff all the time, but I'm not going to charge $200 a month, man. I might charge $35 a month. You know, my thing is, guys, I just want people to come in here, charge a low fee, and that's in the future. I got to make more time. I own another business too as well, so I can do this most of the time, but sometimes I can't. But yeah, I mean, if I charge a low fee, everyone's killing it. I have 200-300 people watching stocks, and we can bang out trades all day long and make money. Why not? All right, hold on, Dan. We'll get to BAC. I know I'm blabbing off here, but that's down the road. Whatever. If I do something, I do something. I'm still thinking. You know, I do very well with trading. Do I really need to do it? Maybe. But hey, if I could get paid a couple bucks a month from a bunch of people, why not? And if I can make everybody money, that would be sweet, dude. Let me tell you. Or dudes or dudettes. Well, you got resistance there. All right, BAC, long or short? All right, let's take a look at this thing. So we're thinking about a swing trade on this one. Yeah, look what's going on here, guys. Jeez. All right, so definitely in the double top here. We're starting to consolidate here. Remember, they fixed Deutsche Bank. You guys know what DB stands for, right? It's not Deutsche Bank. And that's been one of those for a long time. All right, well, we're into double top. If this thing can crack, you're above the MA, so it is slightly strong, but you're starting to stretch up here on this move. You do have a gap window here. GLD, yeah, we looked at GLD, but we could go back to it again. Yeah, we have a gap fill here. We have gap fill there, or a gap window, gap fill. You have a gap fill up in this area. Then you have this big resistance here where this thing broke down. You're going to have huge resistance up here. For me, gosh, after this run, you had this run, pull back into gap fill right there. than a launch, you got to think we're going to get a little higher prices here. I mean, if you wanted to go long, and if you can't get above this area here, or even this gap fill here, down right there, if you go long here, you know what? I wouldn't touch it. You already got a nice move here. You're into resistance. Now you're just kind of waiting for, let's look at this again. We get above this gap. Yeah, let's hold on here. Weekly. Let's go to the weekly. Now the SPY's getting the bid, so everything's going up, you know. Gosh, it's unbelievable, guys. GDX. Well, I like the GLD. That's more of the ETF where it's one-on-one. I mean, we can look at the GDX, but see where you have the big breakdown bar here on the BAC, and then it retraced. You have lower highs coming in here, so that's a little bit strong. You're above the MAs. Is that a week? Yeah, this is the weekly chart. So you are strong. You have these kind of tying together. So they'll be like the golden cross on CNBC. You have to buy. You have to buy. You had to buy right here. That's your area. When this thing flushed down and retraced, that was your bounce right there. So I'd let it go up. If anything, it fills this gap, gets up into this area, I'd short it. But at this point, I mean, if you want to hop on board, you need to get above this pivot. And then, like I said, you got the gap window, gap fill. So it starts getting into, I mean, I wouldn't risk my money. There's better stocks to trade. You know, unless you wanted to go short, if it gets above this pivot and confirms like into this gap fill. So if it gets above here today, then starts going, then you just stop out. Then you short it up in here. But for me, I'd wait for the 18 buck area. Long, it already made its move. I mean, you don't want to chase this thing up. Let's look at the monthly. SOV and GDX are up. Yeah, you got the news today with the Fed. Yeah, you got this big breakdown bar, inside bar. I don't know. If anything, I would short this one, but I'd wait a little more patient. I'd wait patiently for these higher pivots up in here, 18 bucks, 18.21. But yeah, it's not really showing us anything. And this down move here, inside bar, bearish pattern, you know, we're right in that time frame where the markets can sell. If the markets sell, this thing's going lower. So just stay away. You know, if you're long, I'd take some off the table, especially if you were down in here. If you did add some short down and short right here, make sure you can add more if it gets up to the $18 area. You got, you know, these are markets, guys, where you got to add, know your position size, know when you're going to add, and just make it happen. Damn, my Chipotle's going up in my face, but I already covered half, so we'll see. See how we catch that little bid here. Let's go through this real quick. So I'm going to go Amazon. God, another one drives me crazy. All right, market catches a bid. Look, 3 bars up. Boeing, 3 bars up. Alibaba, Alibaba was trying to catch a bid. Look at that. But, you know, as the markets were going sideways, Alibaba was moving up. Best Buy, markets catch a bid. Oh, that's a nice pattern. 10-minute. That's a nice consolidating bearish pattern. Let's see something here. Oops. This is what's this one? Best Buy. BBY, I think that's Best Buy. Let's just see. See where it retraced to 50. Well, that's not bad though. I like that. Keep an eye on this one to come down, but everything will have to be a market trade then. But this is what I'm showing you guys. Chipotle, markets get a bid. Look at Chipotle go up. Costco goes up. FAS, you can't. That's a ETF. Facebook goes up. You can't tell me that's not an overall buy program on the indexes across the board to get this up. That's all it is. You know, and then if you go back to the SPY, I might swing GDX if it closes above 23. All right, let's look at GDX. GDX. Well, SPY hit the 50 MA, it's coming back in. You're looking at a swing. Yeah, you know, it never confirmed down here. So as long as it stays, you want to take this long, as long as it stays above this 200 moving average and doesn't get below, like if it would have closed below that pivot here, then we're probably going lower. There's like the gold trade, there's probably, you know, gap fill. Well, yeah, gap fill down in here, 20 bucks. I mean, you could play it that way. Let's go to the GLD. I don't have spot gold, so yeah, I mean, they're trying. Right now, it's holding. Put it this way, you could play it like this. If we close down below the 200 moving average today, man, because if we're down here, Don't load the boat, first of all, guys. I nibbled on Nugget. Yeah, I mean, you can. I would love to see it close above the 200 moving average. That's what you're really looking for here. But ultimately, if we start going sideways here in a bearish manner on the daily, we're probably looking at lower prices. You know, like I said, I like this area down in here, 115, 116. But I think Corey was the one we were talking before. When we launched up, we were looking to get in here at gap fill and stuff around the 112. Just never made it. So, you know, you could start the nibble, maybe gets the gap fill down in here, then add more. And ultimately, you got this big gap fill down in here. So, and I think if the market's dump, I think we'll get a little dump on the gold, but then eventually everyone will wake up and they'll start making gold go up. But, you know, you got to follow the dollar too. Dollar, you know, dollar down, gold up. And right now, dollars, you know, if you go to the UUP, you know, dollar's trying to make a breakout here, guys. And this is why I showed, I think I made the video the other day. I think it's this pivot here. You almost got it. You almost got a pivot, you know, breakout here. God, if we get confirmation above this pivot and now we're above the MAs, I think we can start rolling with the dollar. Dollar goes up, gold will continue down. That's why I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this gap fill, or maybe this one down in this area. You know, you got to be careful with this one, especially with the triples and stuff. Yeah, you know, you have support here. You have the gap fill here too. Yeah, I'd like to see it above the 120 area again, and above the 200 MA. But if it doesn't make it there, then you know, I'm looking for a setup here sideways, and then possibly more downside. I love juicy options. Yep, seems like selling pressure subsiding. Yeah, a little bit, but you have 58 million. You have a big news event in the jobs report, and you have 58 million on the day. Still no participation. So they're just sitting on the sideline, waiting for grandma to push it up. Because like I said, if you have 10 million shares of the SPY, I'd like to sell them at 218, 219 again. Let her push it up again. But eventually you're going to get more sellers in this thing, and you're going to get more downside. It's going to get ugly. So Chipotle's going up in my face. Still in the money on that one. HD we covered. Looks like everything's catching a bit. Let's go to Tesla. That was a funny one. Everybody right here. We went, unfortunately, we went short. We covered it. And look at that thing right down. We talked about this level too. If that cracks, it's going right back down here. Oh, wait, here. Oh, hold on, guys. Hold on. There's always reasons, guys. There's always reasons. Ooh, look at that. Maybe. I wouldn't play it personally, but that might be a good option play for maybe a day or two. But you still have support down in here too. Gosh, if this thing stretches down into here, maybe. All right, let's try to looking to get GDX back to 25 where it broke down. Yeah, you know, it could. Like I said, if the dollar goes up, gold's going to keep going down. For now, at least. You'll get a disconnect basically. You'll get a disconnect from that one if we start getting panic in the markets. Yeah, see, there's a trend line there too. So you do have some support coming up, but Tesla is still like, you know, a little bit lower down in this area for the 200 moving averages. Gosh, look at this inside bar. Look at that, went right up. Gosh, I wish I would have held that. Damn. But it was going up on news, so I figured, you know what, a couple bucks on Tesla, I'm going to take the money and run. Damn. Yeah, anyways, what are you going to do? So anything else you guys want me to look at? Any takers? I'm going to put some more stuff on StockTwits. Try to get more people in here. Tell me what you're looking at. Anything falling, anything going up in support, anything we can scalp, anything we can make some money on. let's put it that way. You know, I'm looking for stuff too, all the time, guys. Try to find this and make some money here. All right, hold on. Let me go back. All right. When does it stop? Gilead, yeah. Still looking sickly. When does it stop? You know, inverse on gold. All right, hold on here. Hold on. Now we got everybody looking at GILD. And it's still going. Jeez. This thing's just ugly. Wow. Look at that. They got everybody in up here on the pop, probably some news, and now they're just selling it in their face. Gee, look at that. probably a nice, yeah, nice retrace here, the whole 9 yards. Jeez. We were short Gilead too. We covered and just keeps going. Yeah, this is just ugly. If the SPY starts to sell, it's gonna get really ugly. Let's go to. Got to go to the bigger time frame here. So we had pivots here. Gosh, are we into any retrace or anything? Not even a retrace. Yeah, that was kind of the line in the sand here in this retrace. See how it held it up, retrace, bullet or bearish pattern, stays below the MAs, starting to break down. Man, if anyone's long in this one, oh man, even the weeklies, I think it's 63.57. The markets start to break down. There it goes. It's going down. Let's look at the monthly just to see if there's any support coming up. This is a bit, man, nah. Yeah, 63. This is ugly, guys. If you're long in this one, protect it. You got to get above this 50 MA. I mean, we have an, look at, this is where we went short right here. Inside bar, gapped it up, 618, boom, 20 moving average, you short it there. We already in and out, but my gosh, look at that. Now it's just bleeding and some volume too. You're going to start getting margin calls. People are trying to, you know, buy the dips and it just keeps going down in their face. I mean, if anything, a buyer, maybe 63.57. You know, that's probably your next spot. Jeez, that's just ugly. Now you have this inside bar on the monthly. It's starting to break down on that one. Be careful. I mean, basically you need news on this one. You get news, it might pop up. But if you get no news, markets start to sell. This one's going right here, 63.57. I just want to see. Let me look if I could find a. Jeez, no. Let's try this just this for shits and giggles there. Load that low pivot. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, look at that. So you're in the 618. Yeah, right here about 63 bucks. That's your area. If it does not hold this 76 area right in here, we're going lower. The market's dump. It's definitely going lower. All right, hold on a second here. I got I'm just looking back at some. So TS, all right, USO, TSN. If I missed you, keep punching it in. TSN. Is it T or TSN? Sorry. I don't even know what this is. TSN. Yeah, see? What did I just say about high flyers? If you're long this one, protect it. So they sucked everybody in up here. They're going to dump it right here. This is where this thing's going eventually. The market sell 55.73. I wouldn't short it. If it gets to this inside bar and bounces, this is a monthly chart. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, look at that. Nice gap up, gets above here. I'm sure somebody upgraded or some crap, some news comes back, inside bar. Look at this, inside bar, can't close above here. Damn. See, this is why I like this. Someone could have told me about this. I would have played this inside bar as it popped up in here, used the all-time high with confirmation as a stop out. Look at that fall. That's just awesome. And then you're gonna have some support here. You'll have some support down in here around the $60 area. But yeah, if it closes down here on the weekly, it needs to get back above this 20 MA. If it continues down, if it closes below this wick next week, this one's going right down. And like I said, remember what we were saying before with the high flyers, guys. High flyer, here's your area where it's going to come back, but it still has to close. Let's see if we can retrace in this one. I was going to say 250 retrace. That's where we're bouncing 250 in this inside bar right here. So never confirmed, got above it, never confirmed and followed through and came right back in. So as long as it holds this 66.56 area, I'd wait for the retrace, short this thing again. Is it a new issue or anything? No, you got some data on there. Yeah, holy crap. And that move there, unsustainable, guys. Holy crap. This is like every chart that I look. I mean, look at this run. Come on. Disney, they're all running up. This thing's way overextended. And I'm sure they upgraded it. Stock buyback, upgrade, all that crap up there. Unbelievable. I hate this crap. This is what I used to do. Oh my gosh, Kramer said to buy up here. I got to get in. Hurry up. And then bam, they slam it right in your face. All right, let's go. Yeah, I'd stay away on the wait for the retrace. If you're short this one, ride it. You'd probably retrace, and then, I mean, you could probably cover some down here if you're short from here. Take half off and let the rest ride. Got another extended. That's why I looked through. I looked through the monthlies and just try to find charts like this. This is just a beauty. And just think, guys, NVDA. This one better have good earnings. That's all I can say. That 68.52 was an area too. That look, it's already starting to bleed. Here's your area right here, 40 bucks. If this thing doesn't have good earnings, everyone's gonna be stuck left up here. If you have profits up on this thing, sell them. Let it go up, and if it goes up, short it. All right, let's see here. USO. We didn't go over that one today. I'm behind, guys, on ticker symbols. Anybody punch anything else up? Yeah, so we got, oh, Tyson Chicken. That's what, yeah. Got to watch out for that one. Bought it 15 years, 15 a few years ago. Dump it, man. Take the profit and run. Let it come back down and then buy it again. It's a high flyer. Take some money off the, at least take something off the table. The USO, let's see. Yeah, I still have my volume in today, guys. Looks like I might have fixed it, maybe. Let's see. All right. Okay, we talked about this on the daily, this high pivot. All right, well, we talked about this in this breakdown bar right there. Where'd it go? Right to it. Now we're here, back here again. What's that going to be? After we come through it, what's that going to be? That's going to be support coming down. So now it looks like we filled the gap coming down. When these things go up this far, this fast, not good. All right, let's put a retrace. Let's go from this top. Let's see what we got here. I don't know why my stuff keeps disappearing. I'm gonna have to have a talk with these e-signal guys. So we're in between the 618 and the 750. We talked about it possibly going to 1165. That was the next area, but like I said, first it has to get through this breakdown bar, and then it comes right back, retraces, more resistance, comes back, comes right back in, retraces right back into this high. Who do you think people bought up in here that are all stuck here when they sold it off in their face and then brought it right back in? Got a lot of sellers coming in here, guys, going, you know what? I'm at break even. I'm getting out of here. Done. You know, so, and then look, that's a good call. So you got a lot of sellers in here. Volume's okay. Let's go to the weekly chart. Weekly chart, what I'm looking for here. So the weekly chart looks like it's going to, let me get it a little bit. We close right on top of the MAs here. It looks like we're going to close above the MAs on a weekly close. Now I want to see it close above the high, the 1155.54 area next week. If it closes above that next week, then this one can possibly move up. If it turns around and comes right back below the 50 MA and the 20 MA, we're going to lower prices, guys. And I still think we're going to about at least $9, $8, and then possibly $7 if the markets start to dump. Let's write those areas down. And then I think it's going to be lights out. Is this thing setting up on the monthly chart? Bearish pattern. Let me look at this. Down, sideways. It doesn't get above this inside bar, and I love this pattern right here. Inside bar, bearish pattern on the monthly. Look, down, sideways, needs to get above this area right here, 1181. And that will negate this, but then I want to see confirmation. If I get confirmation, then we could possibly go back up here. But let me tell you, Janet Yellen and the Federal Reserve does not need higher gas prices, period. That will ruin everything for them. Right now, everyone's enjoying it. Consumer spending's up. That is not part of their plan. It's a news-driven trade right now on Saudi Arabia and this and that and whatever else they're spreading out there. All the big RBC, they're all, oh, buy oil. Next thing you know, Tepper will come out, Buffett will come out, and you get all the perma bulls telling everybody, oh, time to buy oil. You know what? You know when it was time to buy oil? Around 923 on the USO. If it didn't close below this big red bar, you know, actually it was down in here, to be honest with you. But you know, $8. But we were short, we were long, we did everything with this one. Yeah, well, they need higher gas. Well, yeah, of course, but you know what? They're still making a ton of money out there too. We don't need it. So ultimately, you know, Grandma Yellen brings up that dollar. She's stuck right now, guys. She makes the dollar go up, makes oil go down, but that's bad for business in America. It's going to end bad, guys. It's just a matter of when. Put it that way. Anybody else? Any more symbols? Did I miss anything here? Oh, VZ. Okay, hold on. VZ. VZ. Is that Verizon? Yeah, look at that monthly chart. What do we talk about? High flyers. What do we talk about? Look, once it gets too far extended from the 20 MA, what does it do? Come right back in. Gets extended. Look at this. Goes up. Inside bar bullish pattern. Pop up. You know, this is just chopping around. This was the August sell-off, 1,000-point down, came right back in. High flyer, coming right back down. Are you long or short? Hopefully you're short, BZ, because, man, you know, this is why I like this room. Gosh, if I would have known about this, look at that. Great short right up in there. Look what they did. They popped it up on some news or something, maybe the iPhone 7. Oh, we're going to sell so many, it's going to be great. Let's look at the daily. And there it goes. Now it's below the MAs. This was a good one for a while. Just want to see why. Is there anything else back here? Was it higher at one point? No? Yeah, look at that double top right there. Blasts off. Anything. Oh, look at that. All right, hold on a second here. There's got to be a reason why this thing went up there. There had to be a gap or something. Let's see. So let's see. So this is the area right here. You know what? Let's stick a trend line in there. Are you short or long, BZ? Or is the guy still in here? They wanted me to look at that. Hold on. Let's go weekly. Let's go out a little bit. Yeah, look at that. There's got to be something right in that area. And it looks like you have a couple gap fills. All right, let's go out. Like I said, I'm still learning these charts. Yeah, look at that. Look at that weekly. That's ugly. Weekly chart support. If you're long, you're going to get some support right in here. Let's look at the retrace real quick before we go out, zoom out. Yeah, right there. There's your area. 200 MA, about 48.80. Let it overshoot the 50. But like I said before, if the markets start to dump, it's gonna go through all these levels. This is the weekly chart. So if we get next week a straight shot into the 50, say $49 area, maybe $47 area, that could be a short-term buy. If it flushes out to 47, I'd stop out. If you do like a half position, add more here long. But again, if these markets dump, everything's going down. That's why I don't like to put longs on right now. Let's look at the daily. You're below all that. And this thing's starting to chop down in the bearish consolidation on the daily. Let's look at the monthly. Smith & Wesson, yeah, I'll look at that one. Yeah, well, look at that. You have some support. Yeah, support right there around 50. Yeah, you know what? That's a good trade, guys. This thing falls into the $48, $47 area for maybe a couple-day hold for long if the markets catch a bid. This one, you could definitely get a bid on this one here on VZ. That's a great area. If you're short, start to cover around the 50 buck area. Well, where are we at the $50 area? Now we're at, where are we? Yeah, we are at the $50 area. Really? Okay, yeah, well, I'm looking at the 48. So maybe a buck or so lower, you could go long. Still, I'd like to see a Pierce. What was the low? I'd like to see a Pierce at the 50. Like I said, this thing caught a bid because the market's got a bid. That's the only reason this thing's going up. If the markets were dumping, this would be going lower. So just be careful. If you're short, start to cover. If you're thinking about going long, try it at the 48, 47 area. And if the markets sell, you're going to have to think about exiting and let it come down, you know, lower prices. That's on BZ. Smith & Wesson. Right, that one's Smith & Wesson, right? I think. I don't know all the symbols. I know most of them, but yeah, look at that. Another high flyer. That's a monthly chart. Look at that. They got everyone to get in here on a retrace back into the high pivot. Never closed above and right back. Damn. That was all the news. Probably Obama taking our guns away, all that crap. You know, they hyped it up. If you're short this one, great. See, that's man. That's why. Need more eyes. I would have definitely took that one short. Look at that. Nice retrace. Gets above, gets everybody buying. It's Smith & Wesson. Oh my gosh. And look at that. Boom, right back down. Look at that. $5 on a short. That's a hell of a trade right there. Don't buy? Yeah, buy guns. Exactly. You got it. But we're retracing back down. Let's see. So we're retracing back down. All right, spread some more news out. They're taking the guns away, and it's going to go right back up. You know how that works. Don't buy stuff on news. Yeah, look, 618. Yeah, that's not a bad retrace, but again, maybe buy here. If anything, I'd be a buyer down in here. Let's take a look at the daily. Are you short along this one? Or any position at all? Look at that bearish pattern, pops it up, comes back in. Yeah, it's holding the 200 moving average. Look at that crap though. Jeez. Right back, look at that. Right back into that high. And that's it. All right, guys. I'm going to do this a lot more often here. What are your positions currently, if any? I'm in a lot of positions, actually. Most of them are posted, not most of them, but a lot of them are posted on StockTwits. I'm short NetE, short the IWM, short Priceline, short JPM, short IYT, short the SPY, long SCO, short NVIDIA. short Baba, short Amazon, everything short, guys. I short the Qs, short, oh, well, CMG I did today, covered half. And then, oh, Halliburton, I covered half. Most of them I covered half, and some of them I'm just holding on, trying to get a little bit more. I just, you know, I'm at the point with these markets, and I'll show everybody. We'll go to the SPY in a minute. You know, I've been showing everybody the SPY, and this is the reason why. Booze too, exactly. Yeah, booze and guns. Yeah, good combination there. Yeah, I'm long ammo, exactly. Yeah, again, Grandma's running out of ammo. I'm short a shitty bank and JPM. Yeah, exactly. You know, and then these things are just chopping around. The IBB can't get through 300. You know, time's almost up, guys. And when time's up, just like last August when we had that 1,000-point down day, and I showed a couple things on the SPY yesterday in my live video. When time's up, it's up. I don't care what it is. We follow cycles too a little bit, and you know, that's something I don't tell people. The cycles we're watching, that's my business basically. But we watch cycles, we watch time factor. Let's go into the SPY. We even follow full moons, guys. As funny as that might sound, full moons, people react. I'll shift you to that. All right, this is a SPY. I got a lot of shit on here, so let me delete these. Oh, not the studies, we want the drawings. This is just choppy slide. I thought for sure they'd pop this thing up and try to run this thing up into the gap fill or gap fill up here, and no way in hell. But they're keeping it above the 20. As long as they keep it above the 20, your technicians are going, oh, well, it's still above the 20 on the daily, so we're still fine. You know, I'd buy it up here. You know, it's good to go. But you know, ultimately, guys, let me show you this. I think I'm gonna show this more. Everyone thinks I'm nuts going on. You know, if you don't follow the charts, I mean, look at this. Here's your .com crash. Here's your housing. It's, you know what? It's not even about that. It's the Federal Reserve bubble crash. Federal Reserve bubble crash. Federal Reserve bubble crash. And I still believe eventually we will be going down to that area right here. I don't care what anybody says. It's coming. And when it does, you want to be short, because when it does go short, I mean, look at the distance here. It takes 7 years. This one was 10 years. Now we're 8 years into this run. Usually a bull run lasts about 7 to 8 years. This one ran more because old Greenspan kept the interest rates low. And when he started raising them, and they, you know, it was the .com. Yeah, that was part of it. It was the housing. Yeah, that was part of it. And here we go. Staircase up, elevator down, guys. And when this elevator starts to happen, it's going to be all the buy the dippers are going to come out and they're going to get smashed, and they're going to keep buying, but it's worked every other time. And then of course this is your big area around the 182. That cracks, we're going right down here. Yeah, bubbles get bigger. Yeah, the money printing. Yeah, it's just terrible. You know, then you got buy programs. You know, you got the SPY coming in now like this. You know, everyone's so conditioned, the retail trader right now, to buy the dips, and it's never going down. And you know, see, told you so. Look, it's going up. You know, we came right back into the moving averages. This breakdown bar, it barely closed above, but never gotten confirmed, and right back down. Let's go to the 60-minute. 60-minute here, can't get it above. They got it above the 200, right back down, comes in, tries it again, tries it again. They tried to gap it up. Oh, the jobs report, it was bad, but it's good. Free money policy forever. Don't worry. When she raises the rates, guys, it's going to be just like in January. They're going to be like, you know what, Grandma, we want free money forever. You keep raising those rates, we're going to smash it in your face. But eventually, all these guys are going to run to the exit. And when they run to the exit, it's going to be bad news, let me tell you. I'm going to try to get more people in here. Any more symbols, guys, you want me to look at? God, that Smith & Wesson, that would have been a great short. I want to find some more stuff. I'm going to punch some more stuff on StockTwits here. IDOM, BABA, let's go USO. The IYT too, that's another one. You know, I haven't looked at that. The IYT, let's go Apple. Let's go Google this time. Let's go Amazon. Let's go studies. Try to get some more people. Throw me some more symbols, guys. I want to try to find some more. Look for some high flyers. I'd love to see that one. Get some shorts going on that. Hold on here. Technical analysis. Can you spell that again? All right, let's see. Boom, Shaka. All right, let's see. Netflix. No, I haven't done Netflix yet. Hold on, let me get some more comments. Let's see. I think did we do AIRG? I don't even know what this one is. How many? 200,000 on the day. These are tough. I like to trade stuff over at least 1 million a day. We can look at it. Is it a new issue too? Yeah, it's a new issue too. So there's not a lot on the charts. The only thing we can really do here, we could take a fib. This is the daily. Did it come into any retraces? Yeah, I mean we're holding the 382 retrace. We almost went to the 50. It is below the MA again, kind of going sideways. It's too new of an issue. I mean, they popped this thing up. You got a lot of people stuck in here. If it gets news, it might be a news-driven stock. I don't even know what it is. Don't buy a Raptor. Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's too new of an issue. I can't really. I need more. Yeah, I mean, straight up, straight down. You came down here. I mean, if it holds, you're gonna steer step into the 13, 12, ultimate the 11. Maybe the 10 buck level you can buy, but I don't even know what this is, and it's an IPO. I stay away from those. New issues are, it's anybody's game. Kind of like Twilio. Where's that one today? I know I have it up here somewhere. It's up 50 cents. Twilio. I don't even know what they do, but everybody seems to think they're the best company in the world. Another one that's a high flyer that's going to crash. It's like they all do. Netflix. Let's look at that one. This one we went short. We covered already. Did we cover already? Yeah, I think I don't even know. Let me look. Yeah, we're out of that one. But another one, news-driven stock going up. Daily chart. We're right back into that 106 area, chopping around. But if it can't, here's the pivot where it stopped, right here. And you have a gap fill here, and ultimately you have a high pivot here. Okay. So, after a run like this, you're gonna expect at least a little bit of a pullback. Stocks just don't move up in 90-degree angles forever. They just don't. God, we're getting another bid on the SPY. Here she comes. What time's it? 212. You better hurry up. Get it above that. At 3 o'clock. Make sure. Yeah, volumes at 62 million again, guys, on a jobs report day. Still just sleeping in the markets. Big boys will let her push it back up, and then they'll distribute it again next week. But yeah, right back into this high. We had a nice little retrace on here until it gets above the 106.08 or 106.08. Then I think it could possibly get to the 108.39 and ultimately the 112.86. If it gets above in that area, I'll be short in Netflix. Maybe, because you are going to go into earnings. It could be running up on earnings and news. But then you have this big breakdown bar right in there too. That's kind of ugly. You could probably put a REIT in here. Let's check. Let's see. So if we put a retrace in here, it's got to be the 50. Uh-oh. Maybe that's Grandma calling me. She wants some information. Let's see. Now it's my mom again. I told you guys about my mom. She sees something in the market. I got her eyes on here too, let me tell you. You never know. She watches CNBC. I tell her to turn that crap off. But she'll find some news-driven crap, and then she'll call me up and be like, hey, this one's falling 30 bucks. Take a look. And I'll try to find an area of support to scalp it. All right, anyways, yeah, so you're into the 750. It needs to get above the 105.01 area. But Netflix, if you're long in this one, take it. If you're looking to short, you can start adding here. But again, earnings reports are coming up, so you got a lot of stuff. If I can, I'll start taking half off positions, start lightening them up, or I'll just cut it off and not go into earnings, and I'll wait for pops to short again. I'll wait for drops for possible longs. Everything will be a market trade, so you have to watch the market and see how that's trading, just to be safe. Because if the market starts to sell, I don't care what stock it is, it's all coming in, period. Just like go back to August 2015 when we were at 1,000-point down day. Do you think anything was green? They were all getting slammed. And that's what I'm thinking it's coming up. And I don't have a time frame yet, but it's getting soon. Weekly chart though, Netflix. IYR, well, we can look at that. Yeah, we're right back in there. We have this big, even on the weekly, You know, this thing needs more news. This was a big breakdown bar. You're down sideways. You're in a channel. Here's your line in the sand with Netflix. You know, you could almost go up in here because when that thing, well, we'll go right into that pivot. This thing starts breaking down, you're going to have a little pivot support down in here too. You have the 750, you got the bottom pivots, and then ultimately you got this guy here. I still think Netflix is going right to here, 67, 68 bucks. But we'll see. I mean, you know, it's a news-driven stock, so. JNUG, well, we looked at gold. ID, what's that one? IDTI. I don't even know what it is. Million shares traded. Yeah, look at that bearish inside bar. If you look at this is the weekly. Probably got to, yeah, retrace right to the 50. Same old crap over and over. If it doesn't get above this, if you're long, it needs to get above this blue line, these pivots here. If it doesn't get above these lines, it's already starting to pull back. Ultimately, it needs to get above the 25.69. This is the big breakdown barrier with volume. If you get a stock isn't going to move up. You know how much volume is it? About, what is this? 5 million shares? Or was that 55 million shares on the day here? Stock's not going to break through this area on a 55 million weekly sell bar. You need more. I mean, probably all the volume that's added up probably equals this one big sell bar. If you don't get enough volume, you look, it moves up, bullish consolidation, pops up, comes right back into this support, pops up again. You put a retrace, that's probably the 750 retrace, drops again, inside bar. We did close above it on a weekly close, but I want to see it close above this to confirm. If it doesn't confirm above this green bar, comes right back in, it's coming right back down. That's it. Let's look at the daily. I despise, oh man. Oh geez. So again, it's extended from the 20, needs to come back down. I think that could be the end of the road for this one. If you're short, hold on to it. If you're long, start tightening it up. The SPY starts to dump, this one will probably go a little bit lower. Monthly, let's look at the monthly just to see. Oh gosh, yeah, look at that inside bar. Yeah, they're just chopping this thing up and down. Eventually this thing's going lower unless it's a news-driven stock. If it's a news-driven stock, then maybe higher. You want to get above this high 2370 or up this pivot. Then the next level will be this high bar right here around 2571. If it stays within this bar, you still have a chance of this thing moving down. The XBI. XBI. What's the XBI? Yeah, oh gosh, look at that. Inside bar, guys. Needs to get above this right here. Doesn't get above that. This is the monthly, though. Look at that. Gets right to it. Inside bar. That's just classic. Oh, is this the, oh, this is the bio? Yeah, we looked at this one. I usually follow the IBB. Yeah, this is ugly, guys. We go to the IBB, and we talked about that one yesterday. Look at this. Consolidation sideways. Look at that fall. Look at this consolidation. They're getting everybody in on this. They're trying to recapture the 20. This one will go, I guarantee this one's going to be a $44 stock, period. Stay away from this one. If you're long, start tightening it up. Yeah, selling call. Yeah, writing calls. Hell yeah, writing calls and writing puts. Heck yeah. We here, check this one out. We wrote calls right here, man. GWW. We wrote calls on, when was it? Right here. We wrote calls right here on this day. When this thing popped up, actually it was on this day. When it popped up on this day, we wrote calls right here. Look at this epic fall. We covered right on this one right here. That was that. You couldn't. That was epic. I love that one. Then that, yeah, that was like the $12 down day, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was crazy. And I think we had the, gosh, if I'm right, like a 220, and the price was like 17 bucks. It came down to like $3. That was epic. Let me tell you. But yeah, that I don't write a bunch of them. You know, it's expensive, but most brokers won't let you do that. But yeah, that was great. GW. We did CMG. We wrote calls right here on that pop. The calls were at 26 bucks. Down in here, it was like $4 or $3, 350. That was epic. How don't you not write a call right there? And I think that call, I think we were in at 425s on that day, writing calls. Boom, shaka. We wrote them here too, actually. And then we covered them. We covered them here on this day because we had support here with the 50 MA. And I was like, you know, Let's not take a chance. And then Ackman, God, thank God we covered him there. And then boom, right here, we shorted the call again, and boom. I think we pulled off half on support, and then we rode the rest down here. Because down there, I think it was like the 750 retrace. Yeah, it was coming right in there. But ultimately, they went down to like $3.50. It was great. All right, what were we at? I usually follow the IBB. That's the one I've been watching. Yeah, this thing. I mean, if we close below this on the daily, we're going right here to double bottom. If that starts cracking, that's going to start dragging the Qs down, and that's going to take everything down with it as well. Let's get the SPY up to the 618. Yeah, you know, I'm watching the SPY on my other screen. I think I'm going to puke in my mouth because the manipulation on this stock. Even Chipotle, somebody's in that one and shit, shucking and jiving people. Let me tell you. But the IBB guys, gosh, you know, let's just go to the monthly. And this was another one. It came down. We shorted it on the retrade. We were shorting up in here, and everyone, oh, you're an idiot, stock rookie, blah blah blah. Look at that epic fall. Now look at this. No, this is even better consolidation sideways. We only had 4 months here. On here we have 9 months. We do have a slight up move sideways. This is a slight micro bull. So we do have a chance this thing could pop up. But as long as we're inside this big inside bar, let's try Columbus Day. I think it's off. Is the markets closed on Columbus Day? I don't even know. You know, I hope so. I need a day off, man. Maybe I'll do a live event on Columbus Day. Get some more people in here. It's like I said, I love the fact that people are looking. And if you start looking what I'm looking for, and I could get, you know, 100 people in here, and hey, look at this, look at that, and we could, I just want to make more money, guys. So we're holding the 50 retrace. We got to the 618, but this guy's curling down, still in an inside bar. This pattern plays out, guys. I'm telling you, we're going right here. Mark my words. The SPY starts dumping. That's 207. I think we can overshoot that and go to 200. This low pivot. You know, these little guys right in here, 197. Bond market close. Oh, God. So that's the cat. The bond market's closed. The mice will play. So anything, you know what? That's their chance to get the SPY up to the highs again. Gosh, are you serious? When the cat is gone, the mice will play, guys. Because you know the bond market is the beast. that's the beast. So let's see here. PG overbought. All right, let's go into PG. Yeah, it's getting there. Look again, you know, we're up in here. You know, all right, hold on. Look at this. Let's go here. Where are we? Yeah, so we're above that. So not bad. But PG, you know what? PG is a safe haven play, you know, that Kramer pumps all the time. So this could overshoot. If you want to short this one, you know, maybe on this breakdown bar around 91.84, but you got to be ready to add more around the 95, and it could go to 100 even number, maybe. But you know, everyone else is looking for the even number, especially technical, because that's the next big area. Let's go to the weekly. Let's look at a couple other things here too. Let's go to the daily. You looking to go short on PG possibly, or any position on PG? If you're long, I'd probably dump. Yeah, you got the high here. You got a nice retrace coming up. Here, let's take the, I don't know, let's take a retrace from here to here. Yeah, look at that. All right, this is the bigger time frame though, guys. You know, not bad. On the daily, we came back in, bounced off the 20, we got back. You know, if you wanted to short this one here, short it here. Use the 90, maybe go half, well, it's at, go half position. If it gets above 90, 92, 93 area, add the second half or add another quarter. And let's see if we can ride this one out. That's not bad, actually. You know, we got a nice, we came in, stayed above the inside bar here, retracing back up. That's not a bad short. Not at all. If the markets come in, it's going to come right back in. But again, it's a dividend play. A lot of people like PG. Oh, got to get in that one. Kramer said to buy it. So it might be a little bit rough of a short, but I don't mind this retrace. Because if it comes right back in, closes below the 20, below this, it's going right back down to here. Is there a gap fill down in here or something? Always is, guys. There's your gap fill, your gap window. That's probably going to be the area where it goes to right there. And then, wow, look at that. 200 moving average too. When's the last time it touched that? This is the daily. This is Procter Gamble, right? PG, I'm pretty sure it is, right? I don't know why. Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, I don't know what, never mind. Never mind. Look at this, August. Remember that 1,000-point down day, dude? Dudes, I keep saying dude, I don't know why. How about CMCSA? What is that? I don't even know what that is. Hold on here. Can you talk about BABA? Yeah, I got everyone busting my chops about BABA. But yeah, that's not a bad short there. If you want to short this thing, short it. If you really want to play safe, if it gets above the 90-20 area and confirms, get the hell out. Wait for it to go to 100 or 95 and then do it again. That's not bad. If the market's going to bid, this will probably go up. But, you know, go a couple hundred shares. If you get a couple bucks out of it, you make $1,000 and get the hell out. If it goes up, you might lose $400 or $500 as you stop out up in this area. Easy trade, low risk. Comcast? Is that the symbol? CMCSA? Seriously? CMCSA? Okay, I guess it is. I don't think I haven't looked at this one in a long time if I ever looked at it. Let's look at the monthly. Man, the SPY's still going. Look at that. If you're looking at the SPY 10-minute, little bit of bullish consolidation and up. If you look at it about an hour and a half ago, a little bullish consolidation up. Again, they're above that area of the breakdown. Here they go again. What, the Dow's down 1. Oh my gosh. So then they'll talk about, oh, the jobs report wasn't that bad this quarter. You know, you'd expect a little bit of down. You know, they'll make up some excuse. So Comcast, wow, yeah, this is another high flyer. Needs to stay. If you're long this one, I'd take some profits. Ultimately, if we stay above the 62.05, you know, this is some bullish consolidation, but again, you're starting to get stretched on the monthly. Once you start getting too far away from this 20 MA, it needs to come back down. Right now, if you want to go long, I wouldn't. If you want to go short, I wouldn't mind. If you want to go short, just use the high up here as the stop out with confirmation, and just play it simple. It's an easy trade. Go half position here, add the last half here. If it gets above there, just stop out. You know, maybe 500 shares. 500 shares here, another 500 here. If it gets up here, stop out. If you want to go less, you know, less, you can have a wider stop, you know, for your risk. Daily, and let's look at the daily. On holiday coming, MSCNBC. All right, what's that? AYI. Did I look at that one? Yeah, you do have a little bit of support here, but you are below the moving averages. You had this inside bar, it cracked below it. You did close below that, so it's a little bit weak. You are stretched on the monthly. Went way too far too fast, my opinion. Then you're holding this on the weekly too. So you're holding that 20 MA. Let's see if we can close below. If you close below the 20 MA, then confirm you probably go lower. If it stays above the 20 MA, you know. So technically, it's a little extended. If you're long, start tightening that stop up. If you want to go short, you can. Just use the all-time high as a stop out. Go half position here, add another half here short. If it gets above in this area, you just get out. Anything you recommend long right now? SCO, which is an inverse ETF, so actually that's short. No, everything, you know, the problem is with going long right now. Excuse me, guys. The problem is with going long right now is if the market's dumped, it's just going to go lower. So unless something's really falling, maybe on earnings, but then for me, it'd probably be just a short-term play, you know, a couple days, get in and get out and take the money. But yeah, I just cannot. It's against my religion, guys. I'm sorry. The markets are at the high. You know, when you're trying to go long, because everything right now is a market trade, okay? And when the markets are up at the all-time highs from the 2000 lows, damn, there goes my volume again. All right, let me stick another. Jeez, I don't know what's going on here. It's starting to piss me off though. All right, hold on here. I gotta add more volume in here again. It was working good for a while, and then it pops in 2 charts. It's like it disappears and then it pops in 2. Sorry guys, I'm just talking to myself. If I pay for these charts, I want them to work. But again, you know, this is the weekly. This is why I'm not going long, guys. I just can't do it. Here's your .com, here's your housing, and here we are. And if everything's a market trade and you're going long in a stock, you better damn well hope this thing keeps going up. Because if you're going long in a stock and the SPY gives it up, everything's going down. It's simple. You know, shorting GS, yeah, we're already short GS, so heck yeah, I've been adding as that thing's been going up. And where is it? Oh yeah, there you go. Oh shit, Oh yeah, short this thing, definitely. You know, right here, we're right back into the highs again. Right there. Then you're into the 200. If it gets above that pivot, then I don't have a full position, so I'm ready to add more just in case. This is the weekly chart. You still have the gap fill up here. Wow, look at that. Yeah, see that thing? Everything's getting a bid. Here goes Goldman. So they must have, did somebody upgrade these guys just now? Twitter. All right, hold on. Yeah, look at this. So we open up here, find all the financials. Well, the one you got to watch is JPM. That's the leader. It's up 12 cents. Apple's up 32 cents. Exxon's down 7. Pretty much a flat day. Again, you know, bad news is good news, guys. It's great. Let's do it again. We have a little topping tail though on the 10-minute Goldman. Keep aware of that. And oh, look at that. And on volume. All right, guys, this is what I look for too. Topping little tail on volume. That could be the end of the road here. You want to short this thing right here for a quick day trade? You can. If it gets above the, actually, I'd wait for it to retrace, maybe get to the 170 even number, and then possibly take that one short. But again, you're in the 230 time frame. See the SPY's going up. Yeah, just stay away from that. We could catch a bid at the end of the day. So, Yellen, got to get it above. We're almost at the. You look at the SPY now. Oh my gosh! Look, you got volume here, disappears. You get another push there. We're trying to get it above. Let's look at the 60. Are they above the 200? No, we're still below all the MAs. This is her goal right now. Got to get it above all the MAs. If you do, the weak technical guys would be like, oh, we're above the MAs. It's great. Like right up here. You think everyone bought up here? Oh, we gapped up above the MAs. Let's get in. And then right in their face. I love that. All the sellers came in. All the distribution comes in, and then the volume disappears. And then look at that candle. Volume disappears, and then we float right up every day. It's called conditioning the sheep, unfortunately. Yeah, Goldman, though, if you want to take a swing on that one, short, yeah, I would do that. Totally. Let's see if this thing comes in. Yeah, see if the SPY catches a bid, though, Goldman's going to keep going out. So if the SPY was going down right now and Goldman was going up, I would take this trade off this, as an intraday trade, as maybe a 20-30 center. I would short it right up at the top. If it gets above the top and closes, I'd just get out. Or unless it gets above the 170, because you still have the even number. Because a lot of shorts right now, they have their price out there, or their bid out there to short this thing at 170. So the market makers takes it a little bit short, and they want to bring it down. So the people who are trying to short this thing, they want to chase it down. So the SPY's catching a bid. But this is where I would short it off the topping tail here. So let's see if it works out. So I'd be short at, I don't have my window. I got this window open here. Say, yeah, it's a pop. Where's the high of the day? Still didn't make it to the even number. I would like the even number. I would like them to push it up into the even number. Maybe go over it a little bit. Yeah, we still have 7 minutes left of this candle. So I'd let them push it over. Then I would short it and see if we could get some out of it. And then also the SPY, I'm going to add this one up to SPY. All right, so this is what I'm watching too. SPY 10-minute. Let's see if we could come into this to 200 moving average, and let's see if we could come into this area too, because we're going to have some resistance as well coming from that bar too. All right, so let's see if we can push up. Let's go back to Goldman. Goldman's pushing, SPY's pushing. All right, let's see if we can hit that 200 MA on the SPY intraday. We're actually coming into the 6182 on the 60-minute as well. Come on, let's see if we can hit the even number here. Thoughts on Amazon? Hold on a second, guys. Let's see if we can hit this one here. I like that topping tail too. We had some volume. All right, come on, a little more. We're at 96. Yeah. See, there's too many guys waiting for the break of the even number. Let's see if they can push it. So 60, 97, 98. Almost there. SPY's pushing. If it hits the 200 moving average on the SPY, I mean, you could take the trade if it gets above 170, keep about a 20-30 cent stop out. If it gets above it, you get the hell out. You could do that. You could play it that way too. Let's see. The trade. I'm long CME. All the financials are going up. I don't know why. Well, financials are leaders too, people. Oh, there it comes. Damn it. All right, it's coming back in. But see how it got back to the topping tail? You got really good volume on there, so they're shaking everybody out. So all the shorts up here are just giving up. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm giving up. Market makers know there's a bunch of shorts coming from down in here, so they're squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. You got all the shorts covering up in there, but they don't realize that, you know, the smart technicals are watching the the 20 or the 200 moving average on the SPY on the intraday and trying to line it up with this, try to get the Pierce of the even number and see if we take that one down. Yeah, SPY's catching another bid. Unbelievable. Oh, geez, Chipotle. All right. So I'm a little bit underwater on Chipotle now, but I'm holding that thing. They're just shaking and baking that one. Check out Chipotle. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to add more up in here. I love this. I love this high pivot right in there. And then this one here, you got the 750 retrace. But look at this stuff. I mean, they bring it up, they shake them, everybody out. Now they're bringing everybody in again. You know what? I think I'm going to add some to this one here. That's my thoughts on this one. Let's see if we can put some more in there. Come on, a little bit more. I would love it to go to the 430 even number, but I mean, it just missed it. All right, guys, so the SPY's coming in a little bit. Let's go to Goldman Sachs again, 10-minute. Yeah, look at that. See that? Voila. Apple trying, thoughts on Amazon. Shit. See how I missed that? A little bit more, guys. 170. Missed it by a couple pennies. Look at that. Look at that pullback already. Damn. 30 cents. That's how it's done, guys. Well, but see, okay, now let's go back to the SPY. See, I was waiting for that too. I was waiting for it to kiss this MA and just push up a little bit and see how everything pulled back. Goldman's probably falling more. Ah, you suck. Oh, but that's an intraday scalp, man, that I would usually do. 170 would be the price. You're watching volume down in here, pops up, comes back. But now you got two tails. We get one more tail here. You know, if this thing closes below this first topping tail, what do we have? 2.5 minutes. Then that might lead to lower prices. We'll see. But again, if the SPY sells, we're going right down. We'll probably go down to 168.77. Did anybody catch that GS trade? Did anyone hang out their balls out there? I would have liked a little more push. But if you got it, protect it. You're in about 25 cents. You take 1,000 shares, it's 250 bucks, man. Boom. In what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Oh, that's awesome. I love this crap. Oh no, Tesla's breaking lower, guys. Oh, if the SPY dumps at the end of the day, oh my gosh, some of these stocks are going to get creamed. Yeah, look at Chipotle trying to fight that. Twitter, oh, that's right, Twitter. Let's go to Twitter. We'll come back to GS. I'm almost done here, guys. I've been, when did I come in? Oh, about an hour and a half, so not too bad. All right, Twitter. Yeah, we talked about this one the other day. Just news driven. It went right up into that area. We had an area up in here. This breakdown bar right there and this low pivot. This is the daily. This was kind of the end of the road. And I was thinking maybe up into this area. You did have a gap fill. Then ultimately you had this up here. You know, this one was going up on hopes and dreams. Just kind of like Netflix, guys. Tesla, Amazon upgrades. It's like, oh, let's just keep upgrading this. We'll get higher prices eventually. Then we get higher prices. I mean, look at Twitter, guys. This thing looks like GoPro. Oh, it's the best. You know how many people are still stuck up in here on the hype, or up here on this pivot when it pivot back up, and they bought back here, and they bought on that pivot, and they bought right here again, and it's going right back down again. Jeez. But you know, technically, well, here let's draw some new areas here. Ice catching a bid. There's Goldman moving up too again. So let's come back. Let's do this. Yeah, that was the other reason. 618. Look at that. 25 bucks, even number. 618. Pivot here, and you're buying this. God, I wish I would have done something. I would have loved a little higher. You know, it usually gets a pierce through all that level. You know, maybe the 26, 21, and just didn't make it. But you can't catch all of them, guys. Please do Amazon. Yeah, I'll do Amazon totally. When you trade, are you in stocks? I do a little bit of both, mostly stocks. I have two accounts, guys. I have a swing trade account and I have a account that I'm doing intraday stuff. So I could be in a swing trade for maybe a month or two, or hopefully less time than that. But I'll take a trade intraday and hold it for a couple days, like Home Depot. I did that one. I'm also in a swing trade in that as well. But I covered half of Home Depot, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, whatever. So I'm holding half. But if I see something right away and it's going up into an area, I'm going to short it. And a day later I covered it. I'm still in the swing, but I'm going to still try to make money off of it. I don't care. Damn Twitter though, that pisses me off. I knew it, but it was on news, and that's why I was like, I'm going to wait patiently. It's been overshooting the 618. It's been going into the 750. Then you have this breakdown bar too. So I was trying to wait patiently, and you know what? Sometimes, oh well. If it comes down into here, Twitter could bounce. You have some support down in the. Then I got this thing. This thing starts to pop up. It wasn't showing before. So something's up. With something has a glitch in here, guys. Now this pops up out of the blue. All right, I don't even know how to pull that. I'll just keep it in at this point, but that shows my moving averages and stuff. Yeah, so this comes right back in. You're coming below the 382, and it's coming right back into support. Stay away from Twitter. If it comes down, you're going to hit this, and probably the SPY starts selling, you're just going to stair step down into lower prices. If it hits 14, maybe again. But again, it's a news-driven. The next thing you know, Apple's buying it, and Google's buying it, and they're just throwing out rumors, seeing what sticks. It sucks. It sucks for people because a bunch of people. Look at the volume in here. A bunch of people are stuck in this. Because this thing's going up, what's happening? Big institutional money who bought down in here, they're dumping. They need a ton of volume. Big institutional money is buying 10, 20 million shares. They're not buying 100 shares, 1,000 shares. If you sell 10, 20, 30 million shares here and there's no buyers, this is what's going to happen, straight down. So they need upgrades, they need news, and they're dumping, just like Amazon. They're dumping in your face. You don't think the smart money's taking money off of Amazon, Google, Tesla they already killed, NVIDIA, NetEase. Smart money's getting out. They're not sticking around. They take their money, they wait for it to pull back, they buy at lower prices, or they're shorting it, one or the other. Priceline, huh? Yeah, that Priceline beast, huh? So that's Twitter. Stay away. It's all news-driven crap. This thing could go back down to the lows. You still have a gap to fill here. You got a gap down in here, but look at that. It goes up on volume and then boom, right back down. Oh, we're not doing anything. Sorry. Everyone's stuck right here now. It's stupid. I used to be that trader, guys. Not anymore. I can't take that. I want to get in the best trades every time. That's all I want to do. Hold on though, before I look at Amazon. Let's go back to Goldman. Did it pull back at all? Look at that. There you go. Two tails. Damn it. I'm doing this room. I could have made some money. That was tempting. 98 was the high. About 3-4 more cents, I would have took that bastard. Look at it go. Did anybody get that trade? Anyone have balls to step it up? I guess you could trade an option if you want. I would have taken 1,000 shares. That's it. Boom. Get my 30, 40 cents and out. I would probably sell half right here. And then I'd try to get 20, 30 cents out of it, because it's a risky trade. I'm not going to put that much out there. But 1,000 shares short, I can risk that. It gets above and closes, I'm out, maybe for a $300-400 loss. Right now, we'd be up almost 40 cents on this trade. Any takers? Anybody take it? And there's only 21 people in here, but man, how often do you do this? My first time here. I'm going to try to do it on a daily basis, but sometimes I'm just too busy. But like I said, I like this because people are, calling out stuff that I'm trying to look at everything. But like this trade here, someone's like, should you short GS? We popped it open. It's like, whoa, little topping tail. Wow, it's pulling back. If it gets above the 170, boom, let's take it. So I might do it permanently. I got to see how many people want me to do this and maybe start a room and charge people. Maybe. We'll see. But a small fee. My big thing is, guys, if I can have a bunch of people helping me out and they pay me a small fee and everyone's making money, that's great. Because, right here, if I was charging you like $35 a month, we took this trade with even 500 shares, you'd have made $200, we'd be out. $200, you'd pay for my room and done. That's it. And I'm going to teach you guys, educate you guys. But it's a lot of work in the website, doing all this crap. I got to see. I love this stuff. But like I said, we'll see. My wife's pushing for it because, how the wife say, if there's any women in here, she wants me to make more money. He's like, it's not enough. I want you to make more money. You know, if you can get people to follow you and pay you, why not? But again, my thing is to educate, to make people money. And if I can have fun doing this and get paid doing it, then I can do it full time and go from there. And I do, like I told everyone earlier, I have another business. I own a printing company too, and that's what allows me to do this. So, you know, I have that business as well, but I have a bunch of time during the day. I normally trade up until the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock area, and then I'll do stuff with my business as well, if I need to. But please do this again. Yeah, I will. I'll do more of these guys. This won't be the only time. But look at this. So we would have been out, hit the even number of 50. That would have almost 50 cents, guys, in 20 minutes. 1,000 shares would have been $500. Boom, and done. But see how this thing's starting to catch a bid now? Now let's go back to the SPY. See how it's catching a bid now? Didn't hit this area. Was that, I think Corey said, was that the 618 right there? From a day point, let's see. Almost. 618, 200 moving average. So let's see if this can get through there. If it doesn't get through there, but see, we consolidated a little bit. Now we're going up on no volume again. So, you know, 67 million. Ay, ay, ay. Gosh, the Dow's actually positive. Holy crap. So NASDAQ's the only turd of the day because you got the IBB down. You got Tesla dragging it. You got Google down a little bit. You got Amazon trying to make a run. No, I want to do Amazon. Yeah, look at that. All right, we're into the 618. Let's see how this thing reacts. And 200 moving average. You got this high pivot here too. This is the SPY. Let's go to the 60 real quick. Any resistance? Yeah, you got resistance from the 20 MA. You got more up here. So let's see if that's going to be the area. But again, we're at the 246 time frame. Everyone's conditioned to buy the dip. It's that magical time of day, so that helps it. And then you got the light volume. It's really, really easy to catch a bid in these markets, especially if you have, you know, a couple billion to put behind it, you know. And they'll buy future contracts across the board as well, not only on the SPY, guys. You start buying the futures as well, you know, on every index. What do you think's going to happen? Come on. So, yeah, it's the same crap. You know, Corey, you've been following me for a while. So, yeah, Corey knows. Let me tell you, everyone laughs at me. And then when the stock falls or goes up, it's like, yeah, so much for being long on Tesla, huh? I was telling everyone to short Tesla a couple days ago, and everyone laughed at me. We all know what happened to that one. You know, again, news-driven piece of crap, guys. So, yeah, GS, let's look at that one more time. Yeah, so you'd be half out, maybe cover half of the even number of the 50, the last half. You know, but like I say, if you took the trade, sell half. If it gets above here, you just stop out. Easy trade. But you have two tails. I still like the one with the volume. That tells me they shook everybody out right there. So everybody who was short was like, holy crap, I'm giving up. That's it. I can't take this anymore. I went short down in here. Market started flushing, and then GS went up. So everybody went short here, and the market maker said, yeah, no, you don't. So let's see if this one comes back in. But let's go back to Amazon. I didn't go back there. I know someone was asking. Sorry about that. Yeah, look at this crap. You're an inside bar coming up. Look what it's doing. It's retracing back up to this breakdown. You had big volume here. So that big volume here tells me that was probably the end of the selling. Did we come in, fill a gap or something? Gap window right in here. Close to a gap window. Do you have some support from this little pivot here? You have some support. You have big volume on that candle. Now, that always is going to work. You want to line it up with something else. But let's look at the daily. Or let's look at the 60. Is there a... Yeah, look at this. Look at Amazon. What a anyways, comes back in. They're trying to get it above the 20 MA. You have the inside bar. Let's see if it closes above the 20 MA on the 60. On the daily, we've been following. Yeah, even my trend lines are disappearing. But we have a big trend line on the Amazon. We've been following it on the weekly. Gosh, even these have been disappearing, guys. All right, I'm going to just throw a quick one in there. So from this high, these highs, to that high right there. Okay, so this is what we're following on the weekly, and it looks like we might, they're trying. On the weekly, we need to close above this high of last week's candle to confirm. If it barely confirms, and I still don't believe this one can go higher. It's catching a bid, and they're trying to close it and confirm. Technically, that's what I'm looking for. I'd still like to see more follow-through. Volume's disappearing on the weekly. Don't like to see that. If you want a follow-through candle, I want to, like this one here, not bad. Nice follow-through, but they popped it above that big trend line there. Now they're trying to confirm above it. Until we confirm above it, even on a monthly basis, I think this one's over. If you look on the monthly chart, Monthly charts. Again, we talked about extended moves. It just extended again. And I think they're driving this one up in the earnings. It's the allure, guys. It allures everybody. It's Amazon. It's got to go up. You got 42 upgrades at the all-time high. Those analysts have to know what they're doing, and half of them don't. They really don't. I wish I could be hired by an analyst. You know where I'd be upgrading this thing? Right here. Right where it retraced back down and took off. This is where you would have bought it. But, you know, like I said, it's hard for me to go long in these markets. I want to keep an eye on GS, though. That was a great trade. I wish I wasn't doing this room, guys. I would have taken it. Yeah, 16. That's at 49, so it's right back down. Damn it! I'm gonna have to start charging here. That would have made up for the 400 bucks I lost there. Yeah, that chart. Yeah, you know, look at that. All right, there's a high flyer. You don't think that one's coming in? You know, and I'll go back to the most recent one, Dollar General. We talked about this today. Look at that high flyer came right back in. Nvidia. I know we went through these before. Look at Nvidia. Oh my gosh, this is just. We wrote some calls on this one. You have to write calls on this one. You know, period, and just let them dribble. You know, let the premium just fall out of it. I'll be out of them before the earnings. I don't even know what I don't even know when earnings are, but I got to start looking at that over the weekend. And you know, you got that one. You got a bunch of them like this. This was another one we're short right here. Oh no, it's falling. Another stretch chart. You know, and that's what I do. So I'll go through charts. I'll look at Alibaba stretched. That's another pig that's going to be coming in. Best Buy, that one no, but Baidu. You know, I'll just go through charts like this, guys. I'll look for high flyers. I got about 500 charts. I'll look, keep going. And Chipotle. If you think Chipotle's going up, think again. That's the monthly chart, down sideways. It maybe 500 on news, but that thing's setting up to go a lot lower. Look at Chipotle. I'm still in this one on a short-term trade. They tried popping it above, and they're bringing it right back down. All right, let's go back to GS. I know I'm hopping around here. GS, it's pulling back a little more. They're trying to hold it. But now if this thing goes sideways, you have a slightly bearish pattern. But that's something, you know, we'll talk about later. Yeah, CMG. Yeah, but you're into some support or resistance up there. So what's CTSH? But yeah, watch out for the high flyers, the Googles, the Amazons, the O's. I don't even know what that company is. I just know that it's a high flyer, and I don't even care what they do. Eventually, that's coming down. So what is it? CTSH? Wow, look at that fall. Oh, jeez. Well, I don't even know what this one is, but it's ugly. You got a big inside bar bearish pattern starting to come in again. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's your kind of trend line right there. Yeah, it's breaking through right now. Let's go to the, oh, that's a 10-minute. Sorry. Big mover, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, moving. You know what? What did it have earnings today or a couple days ago? Or did it have news or something? Had to have news or earnings, or I don't even know what this one is, or I might know. What is CTSH? Let's see. It's got to have a reason why it stopped here. You have that breakdown bar. You got these lower pivots. I don't think there's a retrace in here. I mean, well, I guess if you went from this pivot, let's see where it stopped. Oh, don't tell me the 618, guys. I can't make this shit up, guys. 40, 45, 49. What was the low today or the other day? Look at that. 40. I mean, wow. Next level is going to be down in here, 40, 30. An IT company. Well, we hit the retrace. They're back above the 50. Your next level of resistance is going to be this low pivot. If it could get above the 40 or 51.29, it will probably be okay. But it's still one that's, hold on, still one that's below all the moving averages. So if you're long this one, be careful. You're below all the moving averages on the weekly. You're starting to set up to go sideways on the daily. I mean, this thing flushed out. Look at where the 618 is. It almost went to the penny. Damn. See, this is another one. If I would have known about this one, we would have put a fib. We might have caught that big bounce here. It is a little slight consolidation in a bullish manner, but it's a lot of it's if it's news driven. You know, going back to 55, I don't know about that. I mean, there's a gap fill right here in the 382, but maybe on hopes and dreams and more news. But you have a gap fill here. You have a gap fill down in here. If you are long in this one, you got profits, lock them in. SPY's moving up, and this one's going. Let's look at the 10-minute. Let's see if it's moving up with the SPY. Yeah, not really. I mean, this is a bearish consolidation on the intraday, so that's telling me lower prices. And the 60-minute too. That's a great bearish pattern. So you got a nice move up, but again, you'll get some hype up in here. People are probably buying, and what's about 2 million today. What's the average volume on this? Yeah, it's well, okay, volume's not bad. Yeah, volume's not bad on this one, but you had a massive volume on here. But yeah, watch this. If it starts getting below that $50 level again, tighten that stop up. If it starts getting up in here, you're gonna have big resistance in here with these low pivots, 20 MA, and ultimately, Phil, you might get the 55. If it gets to 55 or this 20 or the 50 MA, get the hell out. Let's look at the weekly one more time. Within a month, maybe. If the SPY sells, it's going right back down with everything else. You see how it rejected on the weekly on the 200 moving average? It's got to get above that 51.30 on a weekly close. If it doesn't get above this moving average on a weekly basis close, then you're going to keep going sideways, setting up for the next down leg. Let's see, monthly. Monthly, yeah, monthly it's holding on to the 50 MA. So on the monthly, you want to close above that as well. You need to get above that 51.29 on a monthly and a weekly close. If it gets above that, then possibly, because they have an inside bar here too, it'll probably retrace up, probably to a $55 level. If you get up there, man, take your money. If you're long. Any football picks? Yeah. Yeah, don't bet on the Bears. I'm from Chicago originally, but yeah, Bears suck. I'm in Arizona, trying to root for the Cardinals, but I mean, they beat San Fran, but that's not saying much. VMA. Guys are killing me today. All right, hold on. MA. Let's go Visa first. Yeah, Visa. Well, we talk about high flyers. Hey, you know what? Huh. That's an interesting one. I kind of like that for a short here. Hold on. Let's see what it did here. Yeah, look at this. Comes back, retraces up. Yeah, you can short. If you want to short Visa, short it. If you're long Visa, take your money. Earnings coming up, so it's going to be a difficult play if the markets move up. Maybe wait until Monday because the bond market's closed, so they can push this one up a little bit, possibly. Yeah, that's a great short there. Holy cow! I'm gonna write that one down. I'm gonna look at this one over the weekend. Yeah, I like that. Nice read. Look at this. Goes down, retraces back up into the highs. This high pivot. Look what happened. Boom, stopped it. So it gets above these. You take this one short here, gets above the highs, you just stop out. Done. If you want to really do a yeah, it looks great, but man, it's extended. Look at the monthly. Stocks, this is an unhealthy move. Looks great. Are you kidding me? Look at that. Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, you look at the nice even spacing on the moving averages. It isn't an uptrend, but man, it's getting to the end of the uptrend. Let me tell you. Visa. I had this one at the IPO when I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Oh no, yeah, right there. 2008. This is when I started learning technicals. And then boom, the rest is history, guys. I had Baidu at the IPO. That was crazy. I sold it for a nice profit. I should have just held on that long term. But yeah, that's not a bad area. You know, it could overshoot and go to maybe the even number 85 and then possibly 90. But man, I would think about shorting that. I would have to look at a couple other things on this one before I short. But that's not a bad area for the weekly. Yeah, you got a little tail on here. You got a little tail on 4 days ago. No, you got a couple little tails too. So this could be the end of the road here. It's strong. It is still in a strong stance above the moving averages. But what you would need is the markets to sell. Market sells. This one's going down. Short it right here, sir. Yeah, you could. Don't load the house. Go maybe half position if it moves up into the high pivot here. Definitely. And if it closes above, gets to maybe 85, 86, whatever your risk tolerance is, get out of it. What you need here, if you short here, you want the markets to dump. The SPY dumps, this thing's definitely going down. You get a couple bucks out of this thing. You start hitting the 20 MA, cover. It's the 50 MA, cover the rest. You take 300-400 shares. You get, I don't know, $3 on this one. That's 900. You get a couple more bucks. Boom, done. Now, options, that's a tough one because it can consolidate up here. Maybe writing calls. Well, no, you want a big move up and then you write the call. Yeah, so that's a tough one. You know, if you want to play the premium though, if this thing, you know, just to milk it out, that wouldn't be bad. But to just buy a put on it, they can hold this thing up a little longer. And again, earnings, guys, earnings. You got to be careful with earnings. So yeah, I would short this thing up here. I'm going to look at it a little bit more. I'm so heavy short. I'll have to look at this again, but that's a great area. Like I said, if it gets above this high pivot or the 52-week high, you can just use that as a stop out, let it go up a little more, then do it again. But just use that as your reference. And you could play it on a weekly close. If you have a little more tolerance, wait for the weekly close to close above that high. If you do it on the daily, if it gets above that high, like next week and closes at 84.30 in one day, just get out. You know, and then just play it simple. You know, so you gave it a shot and on to the next one. But yeah, that's not a bad area because look, comes back, retraces, come back, retraces. I think it has one more possible down move. Love the retrace till it gets above that high. It's a short. Let's see, Visa. What was the other one? MA. Yeah, MasterCard. Same thing. It's probably extended. Yeah, same thing. This one's actually, let's go on the weekly. Yeah, same chart. This one's actually above it though. Is that the all-time high? Let's go back. Yeah. Look at that. I mean, come on. Really? Look at this. Up, down, doing the same thing. You need the SPY to sell, and all these will come in. So that's the risk reward, guys. You short at the high, you use this as a stop out. You know, and you want to see this get below the 100 even number though. But this isn't a bad area either. 103.55. If it gets above the 103, say 104 and closes, you just get out. Let it go to maybe 105, 110, do it again. But if the SPY dumps, guys, this thing's coming straight flipping down. Actually today, yeah, actually it would have been today, right here would have been, right there would have been the short. So when it got to double top, that's when you would have been shorting it. Look at that. So it's not bad down here. It's only, you know, a buck high or whatever, but just use strict money management. Don't load the house. If you're going to go 1,000 shares, do 500 here. If it goes up here, add another 500. If it closes up in here, this on the daily or the weekly close, you get the hell out. Done. That's it. But man, if you did 1,000 shares or 500 shares, you get $2-3 out of it. It's a great trade. I'll take those all day long. Let's just go back to GS. You guys are killing me here. Ah, look at that. So it's trying to hold until it gets above these little tails here. And the SPY's trying. Do you trade NDX? No. Nope. Is that the NASDAQ? Yeah, no. If anything, I'll trade the Qs. Do it that way. So the Qs, you know, same crap. Got a bid, volume disappears. You know, they push it up with a couple of these. You know, get the shorts to cover. You know, it's anybody who went short here, they're starting to cover down in here. Then they just make them panic and get them out. And as they're panicking, they're pushing. And then they get it, look, right back into the 20 MA or the 200 MA. They're trying. Look at the tail. Look at the bulls and bears fighting. They push it up. Someone pushes it down. Pushes it up. Pushes it down. They're fighting up there, guys. All right, I think that might be it for today. Did I miss anybody? Anybody else want me to look at something here? We looked at that one, MA. See calls for next week, UVXY. UVXY. Yeah, is this a triple though or something? What one is this? Is this an oil trade? I don't even know. I see it all the time. I don't trade this one, but what is this one? Oops. Oh, IBB. Yeah, you could short the IB. No, don't touch it. IBB short was at 300. That's where we took it. Yeah, the IBB. That's too late. I mean, yeah, it's too late. Right here, right when it went to these pivot highs. That's where he wanted to short it. And it's now you're kind of chasing it. Now, if it retraces back up into the 290 area, maybe if you get back up into 295, 296, yeah, I think this one's ready to roll over though. I mean, if it comes back into the 276 area down in here and bounces up, you know, back into these pivots, then maybe. But yeah, just stay away. Don't short it. It's all right. You'll short it. They'll drive it back up and retrace it, and then you could have had it here at 294. But no, just hold tight with this one. If you're short, great, hold it. But definitely don't go long. This thing's starting to break down. If we close below here on a daily basis, that's telling me lower that we're going right here to the 200 MA, you have the gap fill down in here too. So that's it for that one. Anything else, guys? Oh, Facebook. All right, I can do Facebook. See, I'm trying to. All right, hold there. Oh, Twilio. Okay, hold on. I got a lot more coming up on here. The VIX. Yeah, the VIX. I don't trade the VIX. I'll sometimes trade the VXX. Twilio. That thing's just hopping around. It's a new issue. We went short. We covered. We're still short in a half position on a swing trade. I'm waiting for this thing to set up more. It sets up. We're definitely going down to the 55. 52 area. If you're long, tighten those stops up because I think this thing's ready to, this thing's setting up to go down to the lower prices. I think it's holding the retrace area too right in here. 618, close to it. Yeah, it's holding the 50 and the 618. If this thing goes sideways, if we close below the 20 on a daily basis, then we'll look for confirmation, then possibly lower. Let's see here. That's the daily, weekly. There's not a lot on this one either. Weekly, you have the $59, $60 area. It's coming below the 50 MA or the 50% retrace. So yeah, this one, it's an inside bar coming in. You have a big topping tail. So I think if the SPY sells, we're gonna get, I think go 52.77. And even there, I wouldn't buy. I'd probably wait until it gets to this area, around the $40 area. But again, you know, we'll have to see. Once we get more data on here, we'll know where this thing could possibly go. Right now, we're chopping around sideways in a bearish pattern. Facebook. Yeah, I'm going to do a couple more, guys, and I'm going to roll. My buddy next door here, I'm in a warehouse, and my buddy next door is doing a big art show, so they're hanging art and doing stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm in downtown Phoenix, so. Phoenix, Arizona, baby. But Facebook, yeah, I mean, we're down sideways. This is a big bearish pattern right here. I mean, technically, you're strong because you're above the MAs. And if you look, you know, if you look at the overall chart, you're at the highs, you're above the MAs. But you know, you came down, retraced, came down again. Now it's retracing. You have a big area right here, which you know no one's really talking. You know, you crack that level right here. And it's not perfect drawing, but if you crack that level, that's your line in the sand for Facebook. But earnings are coming up, so it's a 50-50 shot on this one. That's what sucks. Yeah, Scottsdale's cool. But weather's great now, and we're like 85 degrees, getting cool at night. Love this stuff. The only thing that kills me is thanks, Corey, man. You have a good weekend too, brother. But this bearish consolidation, that's telling me lower prices. But with earnings coming up, anything can happen with Facebook. But if you look at the monthly chart, you know, it's extended. You know, it's got to come back in. It's only touched the 50 or the 20 MA once. So you better have stellar earnings like Nvidia and all those other ones before this thing comes crashing down. So it could, if this thing goes up on earnings, guys, short it with both hands. Put it that way. It might go to 140, 150, but you know, it's just extended. It needs to come back in, and then it might be again sell the or buy the rumor, sell the news. SPY's dipping. Some grandma's running out of steam. No, that's funny, guys. I'll do Disney one more time. I think we did this before. We did this the other day. That's another one. Check this out. So it comes back, retraces to the highs. Where do you think we were shorting? Right here, right at the 120 area. Comes back, pulled it off. Yeah, and I'll show you one more before we go. McDonald's too. That was another one where I was like, "Oh, you're short McDonald's. You're an idiot." You know, retrace to the high. Got to short that. Look again, extended from the 20. Extended from the 20. This is the monthly. Now we're just fading away into the sunset. Yeah, be careful with this one. I think Disney can definitely go down to 86 bucks. Then maybe a buy point around 85, but we got to see if the markets are dumping. Then I'm thinking right here, about 78 bucks, 80 bucks. But again, we have to take a look at that one and see what happens. Let's look at the weekly. What does the weekly look like? Weekly still, yeah, you got some support around here, 87 bucks. And then daily, yeah, I mean, you're going around, chopping around. They're trying to recapture this 20 MA. We're back below it now. And excuse me, just not healthy, guys. Just be careful with this. Hey, no problem, guys. You're very welcome. You know, I love this stuff. Sorry, Ben. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go back to GS just to show. I'll do some more of this stuff in the later weeks to come or whatever. But let's see, 10-minute chart. Yeah, here comes Goldman. See, it still hasn't got above that topping tail here. We have two of them too, but we have the volume. That's what we were talking about right here. So it's coming back in again. So if we were to take this, we would have sold half. Maybe I would have probably sold it all. But if you would have held half, let's see if we could get it down. If the SPY sells, you'll watch. This one will go to come right back in just as well as everything else. Man, everything's just catching a bid. This is just bizarre. Oh, one more I wanted to show you, McDonald's. This one, had a bunch of people making fun of me on this one. How can you short McDonald's? Blah, blah, blah. Well, this is how. Look, extended from the 20. I mean, right here. We started adding right here at 125, 126, and 131. Then it went up here. We had a little more. And look at that. I still think it's going to $100. They all laughed at me. $100? You're crazy. Apple too. We'll just go into this one real quick. A bunch of people blocked me on Apple. That was classic. So when it was up here, I was telling everyone to short. You have a little topping tail here on the monthly. You got to short. Got to short. I was telling everybody about $90, $95 it's coming into. And that's when we had that flash crash and it went to 92. I had one guy in particular, I won't say his name, but he's like, this thing goes back to 95. I'm never trading again. So then and when it was at 95, I went to talk crap to him. He blocked me. And then it came back up. We shorted again right here and it went right back down. This is your line in the sand for Apple. If that area breaks, you know it's all coming down. But you know, see how they got it above this inside bar on the monthly? Let's see if we confirm on the inside bar. Still need to get above that. Earnings is coming up, so we'll see. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I might do some videos this afternoon. We'll see. I'll have a little bit of time. But thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. And let's try to figure out where these stocks are going, and let's try to make some money. If you can, tell your friends. Let's get some more people in here, and we'll go from there. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. God bless. Have a great weekend. See you on the charts.